Greetings everyone, Zero here, back again with another episode, or a different episode I guess this time, of Fire Emblem. We're doing a Fire Emblem Waifu tier list. Joining me is my good friend Patty. Say hello.
Hello.
And yes, we're going to be rating the girls and the women of the Fire Emblem Three Houses / Hopes. And quick spoiler, I haven't actually, or quick heads up, I haven't actually played Hopes at all, apart from the initial beginning bit of the Black Eagle routes. So I don't know much about, for example, Monica, but I know a little bit of her actual personality to have some sort of basis to actually go on now. So actually everything I did in preparation for this video beforehand was that. But yeah, this is going to be pretty spontaneous. I haven't really written a script for this. It's going to be just going through each of the women, going through the actual list from Black Eagles to Blue Lions, to Golden Deer, the monastery professors and tutors, and then going through to the Ashen Wolves, and then just going through like the Sliver of the Dark and then the Divines at the end. But yeah, so we're going to be basing this off of 3 criteria. We're going to be basing it off of personality, looks, and sort of quirks and backstory to make an overall like how everyone shapes up. But once again, as usual, as a tier list, it's going to be my personal preference. If I put, for example, Monica at D rank, doesn't mean that I don't actually like her. It's basically based on like lack of information that I currently know and just things that I currently know about Monica, for example. But I'm going to try and be fair as to some degree, and not be completely, because I don't actually know almost anything about them. I'm not going to be basing them purely on looks. I'm going to try and base it on a little bit of all 3 categories. Also, along with Paddy, he should also be joining me as well. We're going to be talking, go back and forth between how things between each girl. And then we're going to be, I'll let Patty say his actual ranking for what he thinks each girl should be. But my actual say will be absolute for this list. But Patty's going to be writing down an actual list of his own and myself. So we'll have an overall average of what our... So we're going to have, at the end of 28 girls, we'll have our average of what we think of the girls. So for example, I might have like a B plus overall. Patty might have a C plus, for example, at the end. So, yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get started with number 1, Edelgard. Where do we begin with Edelgard, Paddy?
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
I guess, first of all, let's talk about, basically, I guess, her personality. I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, she's incredibly motivated and incredibly stalwart. You cannot... About probably every single person on this list, like no one works harder or trains harder than her.
Yeah, she's you can completely depend on her.
Yeah. But the only thing, as long as she gets something out of it, that's the only thing. As long as it helps achieve her goal, she'll help you.
Yeah, she's completely selfish in that regard.
I mean, she is a ruler, so she has to be that. Not, you can't have a ruler that can't, like, take charge and like make choices that need to be made for.
No,
I guess
for example, if there's a famine in Alliance territory and she would see that and she wouldn't see any benefit out of helping them, she would just let the people starve. That's not exactly, chill.
No. And for example, on the opposite hand, like if Dimitri heard about that, he would send a like regiment and supplies he could spare.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, Fargus isn't the most best off. I mean, if anything, the Alliance and the Empire are better off on that front, because they got more fertile soil and better weather climate for that. But the kingdom would still would reach out their hand for help out their fellow men. Edelgard, not so much overall in that regard. But I guess it depends on how you view it. Should she help, or should she actually look out for her own people?
She's good for her own people. She's just a little bit of a bitch towards other people.
But yeah, I can see that. But in terms of anything else, though, like between the best, I mean, looks, obviously, she's probably like one of the most. She pretty much is the poster girl for Fire Emblem Three Houses. She is the poster girl from like between fan arts and also like actual like official box cover art, everything. She's been plastered of everywhere.
Even though she's not the prettiest girl in the entire series.
I guess that comes down to interpretation and personal preference.
She's pretty, but she isn't the prettiest.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's not the typical like. I mean, she's not the most like, typical like girl like for example Dorothea, who gives she has like so much feminine charm. It literally it just oozes like elegance. She does have her own elegance, but it's more like regal elegance more than like pure elegance.
Yeah, she's a bit of an ice queen.
I mean,
And if
people.
that's your thing, then
Yeah, I was going to say people like that. There's some people that do like that sort of personality. I mean,
it's not my type.
I mean, to be fair, she has her reasons for how she actually is. Obviously, have you seen much of her backstory?
Yeah.
I mean, I can sort of see why the way that she is and what she does, what she does because of it.
Yeah, but still,
I mean,
it's also you can outgrow your past and be better than what the world has shaped you to be. Basically.
yeah. I mean, there's countless ways that she could have done things differently. Even the smallest detail, but she could have picked any path. This was a path that she thought would be the best for all.
No.
But because you think it's right, doesn't make it right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can believe it to be right, and that's your belief. No one can really. The only way to change that is either just you have a realization, or someone forcibly stops you.
I mean, she did start a lot of problems for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, she
Even
basically
though
she was.
Even though she thought she was in the right, that she still needs to take responsibility for everything that happens post the time skip.
Yeah, because she pretty much caused the deaths of, I don't know what the death toll was. Must have been the hundreds of thousands minimum. Even if not directly, she still sparked off the conflict, which killed hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because so I guess between that for me, but I mean for me, for example, maybe for looks, I quite like her. I like she's very pretty. And, like, if it wasn't for like the overwhelming weaknesses and like the drawbacks she was given and like everything else that she did, should be a lot higher. But for me personally, overall, I know people are probably not gonna like my call here, but I've got to put her high C, or I'm gonna put Elgard for now in the high C area for now. But sorry, I was going to give you your actual.
Okay, let me see.
I was going to let you do your rank first.
A C plus or just a C?
C plus. So for you, it's C plus C. So for me, it's actually it's going to be C.
No, for you. I'm.
Oh.
It wasn't a question. Is it like a C or a C and a half?
Yes, it's almost like it's almost B rank, but for me it's a C plus, almost B rank. But I got to put Elgard for C rank for myself personally. So
I personally put her on like a D rank, also because in Three Hopes, as far as I've played her out, she's just basically a warmongering biche. So far as I've played, but then again, it's also, I don't know, she doesn't seem to understand what she has done in most regards in terms of causing all of those deaths, and I know why she did it, but I don't agree with it.
You don't approve or agree with it.
No.
That's a lot of people's viewpoints. Why I think like they can sort of understand why she did it after everything she's been through, but it's not just a cause to start a conflict which kills hundreds of thousands, possibly even close to 500,000 more than 1 million people, or heck, even more. We never actually get the official toll for it. But in a constant scaled war between three factions, there's going to be a lot of civilian casualties as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The experimentation of people, like interrogations, experimentations, just like everything that people do to other people during war.
Yeah.
There is no way to actually staunch the conflict or able to quell any sort of injustice to people. That's just grotesque stuff happens to people that we're not told about. So for everything as well, it's kind of. I mean, I can see if we were basing it purely on looks and aesthetic, she would be higher for me, but everything's combined between personality, looks, and quirks and backstory. I can't really in good conscience put it any higher than really a low B, high C. So I'm putting her in for now. I'm gonna put her in C rank, and maybe when we get more filled out, maybe move up to the back of B.
Yeah, no, she's a hard D for me. Not in that regard, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, it's basically in the proper D rank, like not moving at all from D rank for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is going to be quite a fun one we're both looking forward to. Petra, the Princess of Bridget. Now, where do we even start with Bridget as well? I mean, what's not to like about Petra? I mean, not even kidding. Like, what's there not to like about Petra?
She's cute.
She's cute. She's humorous.
Slightly ditzy.
Yeah.
Slightly ditzy.
Ditzy.
And she tries so hard in everything.
Yeah, especially for her people. Especially with what's going on with her past and her situation. Like, most people in that situation would be able to handle it. But we'll come to that in a minute. But first of all, though, her looks. Like, her aesthetic is, like, probably one of the most unique characters in probably Three Houses, period. I mean, it's like, if you put, like, all the girls in a line, like, Petra would stand out. Also, obviously, everyone stand out in their own way, but none more really, I think, than Petra.
Oh.
Between, like, her massively braided purple hair, the markings on her face, never mind the markings, you can't really see them, but the markings on her arm, on her back. Like, so immediately she stands out completely already. Especially, it's also where you've also have the her way of speaking is also like incredibly like cute. It's like I've almost never found it annoying at all. No. Especially trying to the language between Bridget and obviously Fodlan are completely different. But considering how long she must have been in Fodlan for, maybe her lack of time in Fodlan, it's already grasped it quite well. Considering even with like mispronunciations, like the way she like inflicts this onto certain words and like I will not be misplacing my heart.
Yeah, because she just picks the wrong words for certain sentences. But
yeah, it's the right words, it's just in the wrong order or slightly wrong saying them. Like it's like I will not be misplacing my heart. It's like I will not misplace my heart. That's one of her quotes when she gets a bad level. It's like disappointing, but I will not be misplacing my heart. I will not get
disheartened.
Yeah, it's like those little. That's what makes her so cute. Personally, for me, it makes it adorable and cute for me. The actual so I've seen some people have said that they find it annoying, but I can see why some people expect. She's a foreigner in a foreign land, especially in a situation where she's been put under. She's had very little time to try and grasp the language, especially in her condition. I mean, also, should I talk about her past, her situation, or?
I mean,
do you know about it properly?
We can always just smack a spoiler tag on it.
But yeah, I actually, obviously from now on, guys, about certain story spoilers, I'll try, if I have to, I'll try and timestamp it, and if I have to avoid spoilers. But we're going to be talking about some spoilers stuff, so you don't want to get spoiled. I'll try and add a timestamp for it, so you can skip ahead, so you can get back to the actual evaluation of the character itself. But yeah, I think that's a fair spoiler warning overall. But yeah, so Patty, have you actually, do you know about her situation?
A little.
Should I go into it in a little detail, or?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so basically, so you know about the situation she's in, pretty much, right?
Yeah, a little, I said.
Yeah, so basically Petra is basically in Fodlands as like an emissary of sorts for now. Basically, as like a... she's not really like a hostage, but she's basically being used as leverage for something.
No.
So basically, it's something that she has to do against her will, but for the betterment of her people. So considering the amount of pressure she's under, trying to actually grasp the Fodlan culture, the language, the etiquettes, all like the Fodlan's laws, everything else that's law. It's a lot for her to take in, considering especially for a princess as well, especially of her age, all that together puts a lot of toll on anyone, never mind all that together.
Yeah, she has to be really smart to even do what she's already doing, you know?
So considering everything that she's been under...
Picking up stuff.
And it's also one of the most, for me personally, one of the most attractive of all the actual... she's not my number one, but out of all, she's in my top 5.
Yeah.
Definitely overall, for me personally. And especially if we said much about her quirks as well, I just they're like... It's not to the point where it gets bone-grindingly annoying or teeth-grindingly frustrating to hear them. Like, every time you hear it, it's like, that's actually kind of cute. And it's it's adorable to actually see it. So it never gets to a point where it's like, unless you do all of her things maybe back to back, it might get a little bit frustrating. That's where you pace it out, like maybe do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, I can't really find that frustrating. If anything, it's actually admirable and actually very cute. So yeah, I think that's enough of talking about Petra for now. I think pretty much that's what we talk about without going into too much spoilers or anything too hard in the future. But yeah, so for me, I'd say, Patty, where are you going to rank Petra?
She's an A for me, absolutely.
Ah, nice. So for me, it's actually an S rank.
Ah,
for me, Petra's an S rank, quite not super easily, but enough up there to really make me actually like adore her to pieces. Like definitely for me, it's going to be S rank for me. But yeah, so actually that's actually kind of interesting. Actually, so I've had C rank for Edelgard, you had D rank for her, or like a high C, very low B. And you had like D for her, and for Petra you had A rank. I put on S rank. So far we're quite it's quite close. Distance. Yeah, almost. All right, the songstress, the diva, Dorothea. Now, I don't keep saying that when we begin with each person, but really it's what I mean. For Dorothea means she's basically beauty incarnate. She basically looks like she's the most like. I don't know, she's the most feminine out of everyone. Between obviously you got Hilda on the trail of Dorothea, but I don't know, who do you think is more feminine or embraces the femininity more, Dorothea or I think Dorothea embraces the femininity more than Hilda.
Manuela.
Oh, Manuela as well, yeah.
No, I mean, Dorothea is really more of like an adult. Feminine way, whereas Hilda is more, slightly more what you basically expect from a girl to be into, whereas Dorothea is really more independent, strong, and things like that. So that's a bit the difference. They both embody a different part of femininity, I guess.
Yeah. Like, I think Dorothea excels more elegance, but obviously Hilda exerts more like not regality in a sense, because that isn't like the Empire anymore, or like the Kingdom to the same degrees. Because obviously in regality it's Empire, Kingdom, Feudarius, and then Lesser Alliance. Yeah. I mean, they do have like royalty in a sense, but it's more like noble leaders more than actually Kingdom and Empire. That sort of like ruling stuff.
Yeah, like Dorothea is someone I could really easily see to be like a mom or something, you know, like a single mom vibes basically she gives me. Whereas Hilda is more like somebody's really cute girlfriend type girl.
Yeah, because we'll get to Hilda when we get to her, which is going to be quite a bit off for now at current rate. Yeah. But yeah, with Dorothea as well, especially, actually mentioned that because already Dorothea once, we're going into the story a little bit now, we're going to go over her quirks and personality a little bit more in a minute, but backstory-wise, like, all she really wants is someone to actually really love her. Like, all she really wants is to find someone that will love her unconditionally because of her past. I mean, should we talk about her past a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
How much do you know about Dorothea's past?
I know a little.
All right, do you want me to?
I know the B support, I think.
Do you want me to explain a backstory to you
sure.
then? Yeah, so pretty much Dorothea is basically the bastard child of a noble of the Empire and a maidservant of that house. So pretty much the Empire or the noble had an affair with one of the actual maids, and that's what gave birth to Dorothea. And of course, unfortunately, because she wasn't born with a crest, the noble kicked both out the maid and also Dorothea out on the street almost immediately.
Rip.
And pretty much gave them nothing to actually, almost nothing to their name. No money, almost no money, no clothes on their back. Pretty much just like the rags that she was able to take out before they got kicked out, pretty much. So pretty much Dorothea was basically out on the streets at birth.
Yeah.
So imagine that sort of like the feeling of basically like your child and your mum and your baby daughter out on the Empire streets, anything on Embar streets. Not even just like a small town street, but actually in the big city, basically the capital of Fodlan in a sense, majorly.
Yeah.
Just on the streets, homeless, especially in those times as well, where hygiene is very much harder to actually maintain, and health is actually more susceptible. And of course,
Yeah, that's also where that independent part of her comes from.
Yeah,
she's always been independent.
She was forced to, pretty much.
Yeah, now she just wants to find true love.
Yeah, because at one point as well, her mum died because of how much stress she was under keeping Dorothea herself alive. Eventually she got sick, and obviously since Dorothea had no money, and there was no way for her to actually get any medicine, her mother died.
Yeah.
So basically it forced Dorothea to live on the streets for years and years until she finally found Manuela. And also during her like her early teens and stuff. I don't want to get too much into it because it's kind of not super dark, but it's dark enough to not really get into that sort of thing. But pretty much at one point in her early teens, like a nobleman passed her in the actual streets, and the noble looked down at her and tried to court her, pretty much have sex with Dorothea, and it was Dorothea's dad. Dorothea's dad didn't even recognize her.
Ew.
So she immediately basically broke his arm or like immediately like pushed him away and ran away.
Yeah.
So imagine that sort of like scarring. Like, but obviously, I don't know how she found out it was his dad, but someone told her or whatever. But she knew at one point it was her dad. But yeah, she's had multiple people, like, especially as someone on the street, obviously a young girl, like, obviously vulnerable, looking for someone to try and protect her, having like nobles like trying to pick up off the street and do God knows what to her. Yeah. She had to like fend for herself, and she's been almost killed quite a few times, but she managed to survive every single time. So it just shows you how dependable she actually can be.
Yeah.
And everything that she does, like she thinks that she's very flirtatious with people. It's because that she just wants someone to actually love her unconditionally. She wants to find that one person that doesn't matter who it is, just wants someone to actually love her regardless. Just someone to embrace her, make her feel wanted.
Yeah.
And she always wants it's a family.
Yeah, but then something that's real, not just some nobleman that is like, oh, you're a cute girl.
Yeah. Also, during her, also that's basically right before she was in the academy. She actually, someone overheard her singing in the back streets, and after that, actually, Manuela actually found Dorothea singing in a near fountain, and yes, Manuela offered her a spot to come live at the opera company with her, and that's basically that's how she sees Manuela as like a second mum.
That makes sense.
Also, one more thing as well. Should I talk about one of her supports with Ferdinand?
Sure.
Yeah, so I won't go into too much detail, but pretty much Ferdinand and a young Ferdinand met Dorothea. She was walking through the streets of Enbar. Dorothea was actually trying to clean herself off. She tried to keep herself clean. She was actually washing up in the square fountain, in the main square, trying to keep herself clean. So anyway, so if young Ferdinand saw Dorothea, Dorothea saw him looking at her, and then before he knew it, Ferdinand ran away. And Dorothea thought that he ran away in disgust. But then Ferdinand came back about a couple of minutes later with a flower. But by the time he got back, she was already gone.
No.
So when we met again in the future, obviously he remembered her. But Ferdinand couldn't remember Dorothea completely until Renemesis in the story. And Dorothea was like, "Spare me your second-rate lies, Ferdinand." Like, "No, that's absolutely true. When I saw your beauty, I couldn't help it. I ran away to find a flower so I could show you, so I could try and make up the courage to say something to you. But then you were gone." And then Dorothea had a quiet contemplation for a second. Maybe you are telling the truth. And she in that one brief moment, you can tell she let go of all of her resentment in that one. They did a really good job in that actual scene, like that bit of silence, and that sort of like looking down was like letting her go of all of her like animosity towards Ferdinand. And like, maybe I can forgive you. And I was like, how about some tea, Dorothea? And I was like, that would be lovely. And that's how that sort of conversation ends. So yeah, after that, Manuela actually took in Dorothea, and that's how she got into pretty much into the Office Academy. Yeah, that's actually quite onto the Dorothea's backstory, but you can tell how much I love Dorothea anyway because of everything. And also, fun fact, Dorothea's actual the S-rank support has been the only one to actually make me cry during it.
No.
Even Bernie's one didn't make me cry when I actually watched it. It was super sweet, but Dorothea's one, like, how much emotion she had during her voice when it was like, I was like, "Are you sure? I mean, like, I don't have any money or wealth or land to my name. You could have any woman in the world. Why would you pick me?" And it's like, it's because I picked you because I want to be with you. And it's like that sort of like that moment she felt like someone unconditionally loves her for who she is, not for what she has. I don't feel like you could pick anyone else, like for example Ingrid, or you could pick like Hilda or Marianne, or people for like power, status, households. But it's like, no, like I said, she loves her for who she is.
Yeah,
That's
who
all she
cares
wanted was someone
about-
to really, someone who actually just generally loves her.
Who cares about money when you can have Dorothea? Let's be honest here.
Pretty much. So yeah, I think that's enough about Dorothea. So yeah, so where are you going to rank Dorothea yourself personally, Paddy?
It's a hard one. It really is.
Well, do you want me to do my way think about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's going to be another S rank. I'm not going to be putting all of them up there, but for me personally, it's a so far first place S rank for me personally. I can see why people don't like Dorothea. It's at face value, but it depends on how you really view her. But really break all her walls down. She is just basically someone that's basically struggled all of her life so far. Just wants someone to actually just love her unconditionally and grow old together and just like love each other. She couldn't care if she lived in a healthy household or like a shack. She just wants someone that can just be with her for who she is, and like all she wants is just someone to love and be loved in return. So for me, if it's going to be an S rank for me, top of the S rank.
I agree with you. I think it's also going to be an S rank.
I mean, I've seen some people rate Dorothea like B or C or sometimes even D for people, but that's fair enough. But for me personally, it's up there, completely up there. She's my number 2 waifu, so you know.
That's Bernie.
So yeah. So speaking of Bernie, Bernadetta von Varley.
S tier, easy.
Yep, S tier. There we go. All right, Monica. No, yeah, but so seriously, yeah, Bernadetta, probably the most polarizing character in the entirety of Three Houses from what I've seen from people. I've seen people rate her at E, I've seen people rate her at S, I've seen people rate her everywhere else in between. But yeah,
I mean, Bernie has such a big growth during everything. She goes from not wanting to do anything, not having the balls to do anything, to actually just being
a straight up war commander.
Yeah, basically, she really goes from nothing to everything, which is.
Mind you, you can say that about a lot of people as well. From this, like they go from like just being, I'm just a noble of a wealthy family, to I'm one of the 10 elite generals of the professor.
Yeah, but then if you would like, for example, compare to Raphael or something. I mean, Raphael is really cool, but it's not like he has a total character switch. He's still who he is.
Yeah, he's pretty much Raphael, but in the way he's like, I love eating meat and getting stronger.
Which is also really cool, and it's also really something that can be appreciated. But Bernie really does change a lot, and that's really interesting and appealing.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, when we start with her backstory, I mean, do you know anything more about Dorothea's backstory, like with Bernie, or do you want me to explain a little bit about her backstory?
I mean, you told me, so I do know.
Yeah, so we'll go over it in sport anyway, just for people watching. But yeah, so basically, Bernie is like a complete introvert. She is basically the most introverted person I think in the entire, maybe even Fire Emblem series as a whole, maybe the most introverted character. I don't know much about my Fire Emblem past games, but I can't imagine there being many more people introverted as Bernie. But yeah, she pretty much like avoids like almost contact with almost anyone. There's only been 2 people in her life she's actually been able to actually talk to properly. One is a future character, which I don't know if I want to explain right now without spoiling it. And one is her uncle. And pretty much when she was growing up, her uncle was the only person that she could talk to, like normally, like without having no anxiety attack, no panic attack, just a normal conversation. And that's the thing I love about Bernie as well, is because that she, during the course of the game, like during every support conversation, like with almost everyone at C rank, it's pretty much just like, please don't hurt me. And it's like, I didn't do it, I swear, I'll be good. And it's like, because she is, I mean, the reason why she is so scared and frightened all the time, introverted, is because the way her father tried to raise her. She pretty much, like, from birth, was being raised to be like a suitor for a wealthy noble in the Empire. So Count Violet could add to his actual power and wealth. That's pretty much all it wasn't like even had a daughter that he could be proud of, like he could maybe like train to become the next minister of what's what we're looking for again? He's the minister of like faith and like
Religion?
That's it, yeah, religious affairs. Like, no, you didn't want like a daughter like maybe could become like a really good merchant or like a textile person or someone that could be like a really prominent person in the empire. No, all he saw in Bernie was just a bait for a rich husband. Literally, the words that Bernie uses, bait for a rich husband. So basically, he like tied her down, basically like forbade anyone to actually speak to her without his direct approval. Basically, did everything in his power to basically make her the perfect wife for someone. And yeah, that scars people.
Because she's not allowed to grow any personality. She's not allowed to encounter any situations that she can grow from, and that's also why she is so scared of everything, and that's also why she has such a big growth during the series, because she's finally allowed to experience things and grow from it.
But to be fair, that's only because of the professor. If it wasn't for the professor, Bernie would still basically just... Actually, I don't want to spoil too much, but without the actual professor's guidance and the support, she pretty much stays in her entire way all the way through into the bitter end.
I mean, it's
soul crushing when you see it as well, because she finally realizes when it's basically too late.
I mean, if you look at the supports as well with the other people, she does try. It's just that she never had a safe environment to do it in.
Yeah.
And that's the fault of her father.
Yeah.
Whereas the Officers Academy gives her like space to grow, but of course also the professor just being
there,
honestly a bit of a prick, constantly forcing her face into her business.
I know,
that
but
if
it
does her a lot of good.
Yeah, it seems bad at face value, but in the long run, it actually made her a lot better. Sure, she's never going to get fully over the panic attacks, but you can't expect that when, like, she's 17, I think, in the pre-time skip. I was 17 or either 8. Yeah, she's 17. Actually, she's 17. Start the game, and 18 during the first part. But yeah, like what? So maybe 13 years of like constant, like a torment from her father. That does things to people, no matter who you are. 13 years of torment from your father and abuse. That's to anyone. So yeah, if it wasn't for like the professor's like not like chuck you in the deep end sort of stuff. The professor did do like a lot of that, but it wasn't like constantly bombarding her all the time. It was like, okay, one big push and then like supporting after to calm her down, and then another push and then another push, like slow pushes. In the grand scheme of things, it's dangerous pushes, but in the long run, it wasn't like constant like 100% focus all the time. It was like big push here, make it a bit more confident. Another push here, another bit more confident. But yeah, along with that, and just like, especially with some people in like Alois, Felix, Caspar, like obviously they're all very like confident people, but because of the way she interacted with them, like she managed to actually find her confidence in herself because of it. Because it wasn't for Felix, Caspar, and Alois, just to name 3 people that are probably most prominent for her supports, she wouldn't be how she is in the later part of the actual game. She would still be the very incredibly timid, just like the shutaway she would always want to be until the day she dies. And because of her skills as well, because she's incredibly good at embroidery, at garden, at agriculture, jewelry crafting, like anything that she can basically do with her hands, like playing music, sewing, crafting, embroidery.
As long as she can do it in her own home.
Yeah, she's basically like a master of of arts. She can pretty much, if she was actually want to work with Mary Ann and Hilda, those 3 would probably be like incredibly rich, powerful, successful people in the actual textile and fashion industry in the future for the piece of the actual continent. That's in my own headcanon anyway. Like, I would imagine like Mary Ann and Hilda actually they talk to her as well, and they see how good she is. Like, I can imagine that she would be given a position where she could have her own crafting studio, be given all supplies she would need, and she can just make stuff, and then they'll just sell it on to people, and then she gets part of the profit. But yeah, so if it wasn't for the professor though, Bernie would be very much just a very like massive introvert and just afraid of everything until it's basically the day of her dying breath. But because of basically how the professor's guidance, that she basically became, if not actually one of the most powerful people actually in Fodlan. Like, no joke, she actually was one of the most efficient actual generals actually of everyone. Because her tactical awareness, though, is actually amazing. Because the only person to ever surprise, pretty much, Felix was Bernadetta. And that's saying something. It takes a lot to impress Felix, but even Felix was impressed by Bernie, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just. Obviously, it's not really going to say much to anyone massively, but if you see the supports, that you know what I'm talking about. When it takes a lot to impress Felix, and if it wasn't for that, Bernie would have embraced her own self confidence.
Yeah.
But he says, overall, all things considered, I'm going to be putting Bernie at top of S rank. I know we've had 3 in a row now, but for me personally, these are some of my favourite actual girls from Fire Emblem Three Houses and Hopes. Like straight up, they all have like, I can see Bernie being like a very controversial pick for me, but for me personally, it's an S rank, top of S rank, and no one's going to make me change my mind from that front. Because the amount of her personal growth that she goes through, as Pat was saying earlier, is like one of the biggest out of everyone. From going from like the most like timid, weak person probably in the continent to one of like the top 10 generals is
Yeah, she earned it. She absolutely did.
Actually, if it even wasn't for Bernie, actually, some things wouldn't have even actually gone down so well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of her intuition and her keen senses as well. Some things would have gone very badly for the rest of the actual for the house or for the actual army in general. Especially for the future as well, for the future of Fodlands, she actually managed to discern a lot of key people to actually make things better, not worse. Like basically, like she was able to discern key figures, and if basically she didn't like them, no, that was it. And Bai was like, no, I'm sorry, no, find someone else. And that's how basically the flourished thanks to her keen insight. Alright, now we're going to get into more like tempered ground now. Monica von Ox. But yeah, so it's going to be quite a hard one for me to actually talk about because I don't know Monica that well there's almost no information about her in Houses, and I don't know basically almost anything about her from what I've seen so far in Hopes. So where do you really begin with Monica then, Paddy? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you what was your rank for Bernie. Sorry, I forgot to ask you your...
My rank for Bernie was an S as well.
Okay. Would it have been higher than Dorothea or lower than Petra? Or between?
Well, Petra was just...
oh yeah, for you it was A rank, so is it higher than Dorothea or lower than Dorothea?
Yeah, higher.
Alright, interesting. Alright. Also, she's number 1 for you too?
Yeah.
Nice. Good
stuff.
For
now, at least.
For now. Aha.
Okay, so, Monica.
Yeah, Monica von Ox.
I really barely know her, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, she isn't a lot in Three Houses, right?
No, you only see her a few key times in the monastery, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a bit for the same for Three Hopes, and I mean, at the start of the Edelgard route, you do talk with her a little bit, but she's dedicated to Edelgard, and that's about the only character trait that I know that she has.
Yeah. That's pretty much all that's what I know about her as well. She's devoted to Edelgard to an absolute fault. I don't even know like her backstory pretty much apart from like I won't say too much about it because you haven't done the DLC, but there's one mission that you can do which you find out a little bit more about Monica, but not even much more than that. So unfortunately it's not going to be a long one for Monica overall. All I can really base it on is just looks and a little bit from Hopes that I've played.
I mean, she's kind of cute.
Yeah, she is actually really cute. That's one of the things you can really give her. But in terms of backstory, there is almost no backstory I can really go on because I don't know anything about her. But I actually spoiled myself for the actual game later on and everything else. So unfortunately, it's going to be kind of a cut and dry one for Monica. Unfortunately,
it's just a C.
Yeah,
I mean a B because she's cute.
I mean, for me personally, it's going to have to be it's going to be above Edelgard. It's going to be almost... Actually, it's going to be very low B, I think, for now.
It's something like that.
It's B rank for me in terms of basically from what I've seen so far from Hopes. Like, I quite like her personality so far, but still I've not seen much more apart from just the initial first bit. So I must really judge on person in terms of personality. And
maybe we should do a playthrough together of Three Hopes.
Ah!
Winky face.
Winky face. There's a little plug right there. Little plug right there. But yeah, so for me, for now, so far, I mean, in terms of actual looks, she's actually, you know me, I love my redhead girl, so
Yeah.
a little bit of bias coming in for me here with a low B. But yeah, Monica Von Ox for me is going to be a B rank from what we see. Just personally, just on a little bit from hopes that I've seen so far, from how she looks and how she's personalised, and just from what we know backstory we actually know. So in case people don't know about the actual difference between hopes and houses, but I'm basically basing it on the houses version overall. So oh, sorry, on the hopes version more than actually houses. Sorry, so I'm basically basing it on the hopes more than houses. But yeah, for me, Monica von Ox, for me, it's going to be a very low B. Okay, Fleisch. No idea what it actually is. I guess technically, depending on the actual family, it could be Fleisch von Burgleys. I'm not sure technically, though, because it's the... and I don't actually know her full... So I'm just going to go with Fleisch for now, because I don't actually know her official full name. But yeah, just go with Fleisch for now. Right, Fleisch. Yeah,
I don't
once again...
remember exactly either.
Yeah.
I can redo the mission real quick.
Yeah, just going to take a quick pause here. The guys find out her full name.
Yeah, now in the Golden Deer route, there's a fight where you fight against her, and it has her full name there, and I think it might be Berkeley's. What's Randall's?
I don't actually know. Maybe it's the same thing as well, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's technically a different family name, obviously because it's being uncle. But it might be Randolph Burgleys or Von Burgleys.
Yeah. Anyway, she's affiliated with that family.
Yeah, she's part of the Empire.
She's dedicated to her brother also.
Oh yeah, which makes sense. Most people would be dedicated to their family. Like she would do almost anything to help out Randolph.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know much about her fighting skill. We've never really seen her fight, so I can't really judge much about
she's
that
a
at
lance
all.
wielder in Thingy.
Alright, in hopes.
Can't say that she's particularly strong or anything because I just went up to her with like 3 ults and I just vanquished her.
Yeah, that's the thing though with these side characters where we don't actually really get to play or get to see much. We haven't got much to really base it off apart from just looks and a little bit of backstory. I mean, I'm not going to base too much on the story.
Maybe there will be more story in like the Edelgard route of Three Hopes, but I'm not nearly far enough into that to get there.
But yeah, so for me personally, overall, I mean, she's all right. I mean, from what we see, she's dedicated. She's quite cute, but that's not really saying much, really. It's just cute, so I just you're cute, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I'm going to be placing her into the. I'm not going to put on E's a bit too hard. I think I'm going to put on like a high D, low D. For me personally, because that's all we really know about her. Apart from like, I can't really talk about the actual story of her anyway. That's going to go into too much spoiler territory. I don't want to spoil it for you either. So I don't want so. That's like a massive spoiler warning. Even that's not much to go apart from just spoiling a massive story plot anyway. So not much even worth talking about it because it's literally something of nothing. So
I'd say she's like a C because she's pretty cute.
Yeah, but for me, cute on its own isn't going to cut it for me, unfortunately. I need some sort of like to know about her personality properly, apart from just like, I'll help you wherever I can, brother, and like I'll do whatever it takes to help you. I need more than just like I'll help than actually to be able to raise her any higher.
A tiny spoiler: in Three Hopes, she does raise an entire army out of nowhere.
All right.
So she is pretty confident and strong.
All right.
But then again, she's also at that moment really driven by a particular event that happened that I'm not going to spoil.
All right, I might actually move up then to low C rank then actually according to that because I gives me a little bit more actual like what she could do, what she can do then.
Yeah. I mean, she's
it takes some characters to basically be able to lead an army because
she is an actual commander in the Imperial Army. It's not like she
just some sort of like sister getting in the way.
Just a little sister while chasing after Randolph. She's her actual own.
It's sort of like
officer and war leader and stuff like that. So
I was gonna say it's like a little bit like Cyril in a way, where basically like she's like a helping hand for her brother. But also, it comes to it, Cyril can lead his own battalion and his own squadron and his own command. He can be a commander. All right, then, just fine. I'll put up to low C then for now overall. Personality-wise and look-wise, from what I've seen so far, I don't really like Fleisch that much look-wise and personality-wise. But It takes some charisma to be able to lead an army, so I've got to give her that for it. So I'll move up to a low C rank for now, behind Elgard.
Sounds good.
Alright, so as we also know about, just but almost know as Jackal, is Ladislava.
Three Hopes isn't gonna tell me much either, because I fight her a couple of times. She's basically Ferdinand's second in command, basically, for most of Three Hopes, but you don't get to talk to her or anything. She just comes clean up after Ferdinand and then gets wrecked every time.
Yeah,
I cannot say if... I mean, she commands armies.
Yeah, she's a high-ranking general in the actual Imperial armies, that's something.
And she's willing to fight to get Ferdinand out, which is a big plus. Because I don't want Ferdy to die either.
So Ladislava also falls in that category of, like, she'll do whatever Elgard commands her to do, so she... Yeah. Which is reasonable enough for basically like a general of the Imperial Army to defend her homelands, but she's almost willing to... If Elgard gave the command to, like, kill, like, hundreds of innocent children, she would do it.
She probably would, yeah. Which is a negative.
That's a big downer for me, unfortunately. I mean, because obviously with the main girls, you never command your battalion to go and murder innocent people. You only fight what you need to until the battle's won.
Yeah.
I mean, if people want to basically throw themselves at you, that's basically self-defense, but giving the command to, like, because she would give the command if she had to. If she, basically, it would help her clear out an area or, like, just get out of the way. Like, she would just order the
collateral damage is no problem.
So looks-wise, she is pretty cute, though, I must say. Also, she is kind of attractive, but the personality-wise really lows it down for me quite badly. So I don't know if I should place her in for me for low C or for a for D rank. I mean, she is. I think I'm going to put her in between. I'm going to put her between Elgard and Fleisch, I think.
Oh no, for me she's low D.
Low D for you?
Yeah, bad personality. I think Flesh has a better personality, honestly.
That's actually a good point, actually. But yeah, I was thinking either between like low C or D rank, but because I mean, she is willing to do whatever, like Elgard. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna move down to D. Actually, yeah, moving down to D rank.
Yeah, she has no morality, you know, and that's a big turn-off. I don't mind a girl that would stab someone if it's necessary. I do mind a girl that will stab someone when it's not necessary.
I mean, she wasn't ordered to, she probably wouldn't do it, but if she gave the order, she would do it literally about second.
Yeah, exactly. So she doesn't care too much about morality, which is a problem in my opinion.
Yeah, probably if even someone even looked at Elgard wrong, like a child in the crowd, she'd probably like get her axe out, like slash the actual at the child.
Yeah.
And move on.
Yeah, that's a dislike for me.
Alright, so actually that took a little bit longer I thought getting through. Mind you, it doesn't matter how long this video is. Something that I've seen something that's lasts about 3 hours, so. But yeah, so that's it. So off to the Blue Lions. Alright, so first of all we got Annette, the shortest of all the girls of Three Houses.
Tiny.
Mind you, that also adds part to her charm and her cuteness being the shortest. But yeah, so sorry?
If short stack is your thing.
I mean, some people like short girls. But yeah,
I like my girls long, tall, strong.
Hey, hey, that sounds like someone on top of the S list, or technically for you A list, Petra.
Yeah, Petra is pretty strong.
But yeah, anyway, Annette. Let's start with the Blue Lion girls. Yeah, so Annette von. Oh, actually, what's her surname again? I can't actually remember Annette's last name. And just trying to think of Gilbert's last name as well.
Let's see.
I know it's going to be. Is it something with a D? I really can't actually remember the last part.
Why is her last name not on the wiki? What's this bullshit?
I'm pretty sure she's part of one of the 12. Dominique. Dominique, that's it. Annette von Dominique. At least I'm pretty sure it is anyway. I'm pretty sure it's Dominique. Anyway, it doesn't matter about the last name. I can't remember it. But yeah, Annette, probably out of all the girls, she's probably the sweetest out of all of them. Like, if anyone needs a hand, like, she will be there, bring on shine to help out someone. Like, at least I cut out of everyone, even like, I don't know who else would be close enough to that. Like, maybe Flame? Probably, like, Annette and Flame are probably going to be on par, but I think Annette would do more overall, I think, to help someone if they needed to. Like, I actually can't find anyone else that would be more willing to help than Annette. But yeah, incredibly nice, polite, sturdy, studious, incredibly smart to her faults. Especially when she was at the, she went to the School of Royal Magics of the Kingdom of Fargus. Incredibly intuitive. The only thing probably bad to say about her that she's a little bit ditzy and a little bit scatterbrains.
Oh.
She forgets things quite easily, and she can be quite. She can bumble quite a lot when she's actually too focused on something. Because in some of her supports, actually, you just hear her like falling over things, breaking stuff, and she feels really bad for it. But that's the thing; like she's always got to be doing something. She's always one of those people that's got to be working hard all the time. So you'll never
I can say out of experience that it is a really annoying personality trait to be living together with.
What, someone who basically is always hardworking and never stops doing stuff?
Well, there's a difference between hardworking and always wanting to do stuff. Because there are certain people in the world that won't ever stop wanting to do stuff, whether it be going out, doing stuff, or basically senseless things around the house, even though they don't need to be done, just because they cannot take a break. It's really fucking annoying when people do that. That's honestly, I'd say, one of the most annoying personality traits to have a relationship with if you've got the opposite. If, for example, I can really enjoy just being chill, just sitting back, watching a movie, having a drink, just being chill and happy. And then you have someone next to you who's like, I want to do stuff, I want to do stuff, I want to do stuff, I want to do stuff. It's like, please stop.
Yeah, I can see that then. That might be a big sort of turn down for you, but
yeah, for me, it is.
I mean, it's not definitely to that extreme degree, but Annette's always basically want to try and like improve herself and make things better for other people. But I guess that falls in the same category that she doesn't always just do things for the sake of it. She does it for a reason most of the time as well. Have to help someone or help herself, and just doing it because she wants to. She's, I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah, she's someone who needs to take a chill pill, though.
That's the thing, though. I know what's. Have you seen any of the latest supports with Annette?
I don't think so.
Because it was with the professor anyway, or... Anyway, do you want me to... Do I if I spoil it for you, the general gist of what they talk about?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so pretty much the general gist of basically the Byleth and Annette support is like, why do you always work so hard? It's like, oh, because I feel like if I don't do anything, the day's being wasted. I feel like if I'd rather do something, it's like, well... That's the thing. The professor tries to like say to me, maybe I should have a day off, just relax, do whatever you want to do. It's like, I'm sorry, Professor, I can't do it. I gotta be doing something worthwhile. So even like when the professor was offering advice, like her to like, take a day off to relax, she couldn't do it. Like taking a nap or just like relaxing, she couldn't do it. She got to do something of use.
Yeah, that is just really annoying.
But during all the other supports, though, you just see like how charming and how like lovable she is, and like how like innocent she is as well. Like, especially like she likes to sing and cook and stuff and everything else. So I can see if it's gonna be kind of a big. Because I actually quite like that in her. I think that's kind of like I wish she would like not tax herself so hard, but that's just the way she is. She's got to do stuff and that sort of thing to make herself do things better for herself or for others.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I think Annette's going to be a high B for me, personally. Because the only thing that really puts me off with Annette is, as you said, like, she sometimes doesn't take off enough time for herself.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird way for me to rank her. I was going to put her at A rank roughly, but considering where you put it, actually, she doesn't do stuff enough for herself, or just, like, doesn't stop and take a breather when she needs to. That's the only thing.
For me, that's honestly just C tier, because it's just I don't know. It does. It so is opposite to what I have. I do want to take a break because otherwise I overwork myself into oblivion as well. And I do need to take those breaks. And if I've got someone next to me who's trying to do stuff and hyper as fuck, I'm like, no, I can't have my break anymore.
But yeah, I'm not sure how she would be in a relationship, for example. I'm not sure if she would like relax a little bit because she does understand how people feel and stuff as well. So she thinks she would make the attempt to try and like, not like be hyperactive, but she would like just try and understand like how much she'd be, how far she can maybe be able to push it without actually going too far, just to be able to relax at some point.
Yeah, it is a big red flag if your partner has something like that, because there is a chance that you will be the person that needs to basically babysit her, make sure that she doesn't break herself, and that's just not a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, for me then it's B, and for you is it low C or high C for you?
I'd say just
C.
just above Edelgard.
Alright, fair enough. But yeah then, so up next is Mercedes. This is going to be a very a big fan favourite, Mercedes. But yeah, actually I think Mercedes actually the oldest of the Academy students from what I can remember. I think she's like 23, 24, I think. If I remember correctly on the actual, on the general page in the game. But yeah, so Mercedes is actually is also another incredibly not courageous person, or what I'm looking for, like a courteous person. Yeah, she will help anyone that needs a hand, regardless of who it is. Unless it's someone unless they know they're evil and they won't help. But yeah, Mercedes actually has a very wild side, actually. Like, she will help anyone, and she will do anything to help anyone that needs it, and people who are nice. But I would not want to be on the receiving end when she's angry, because I've seen her when she gets mad, and it's not nice to see. Like, you think that it's a very nice, like, calming, soothing, like someone that you think that could really calm you down. She can do that, but then on a dime when she needs to, put on her like her alright, it's go time face. Yeah, she's actually quite terrified. Probably actually one of the more terrified people out of everyone in the actual main cast.
She has a real war face.
When she needs to be, like she will take no crap. Like literally, she'll like she sees through people. Out of anyone, she's seen through people. I think the best out of everyone. Like if you've seen some of the supports with Mercedes, like especially with like Sylvain and other people, like yeah, like she sees through him in a heartbeat. It's like, yeah, no thanks, Sylvain. Yeah. It's like she sees through his bullshit like immediately. Like you can't pull one over on her. She is scatterbrained sometimes, but when she really gets into it, Mercedes really literally takes no shit. Like she will call you out on all your bullshit if she needs to, and she's not afraid to do so.
Yeah.
Like she's like the mum of like all the actual students. I reckon out of everyone of the female students. Like if you need advice, you can come to her for help. If you need a task help with, she will help you with it. Like she will do anything she can to help you out.
Yeah, she's pretty dependable.
Especially like from her, I don't know much. You don't really know much about her past really, apart from like she used to live in the Empire. Then she had to like flee the Empire to go live somewhere out in some place, I think in Ferdiad somewhere, some church, before she got found out by someone. And then when she went to the Ferdiad School for Sorcery, who met Annette, who became best friends, and then they enrolled together in the Blue Lion House. And everything else. But yeah, she's probably one of the most dependable people out of everyone on the list here if you need help with something. But other people can help, like Leonie, Ingrid, Petra. But when it comes to like everything, like she's probably the most well-rounded person to help out with anything. It comes to anything she probably can't do. It's like heavy maintenance work on like weapons, like Ferdinand can do. Like Leonie can do like that sort of like maintenance on weapons, but she can like
between Leonie and Mercedes, you've got the entire spectrum of things that need to be done covered.
Yeah, between animals and anything to do with cookery, washing, laundry, she can do all that stuff. Easy, anything church related, diplomacy related, faith related. She can do almost anything what she needs on that front. But yeah, so obviously this could go more about into Mercedes, but we've already covered all the most major things about her, like intuition, her looks. I mean, she's incredibly beautiful as well. Like she's pretty much like probably like if you were to imagine like a goddess, like in that sort of like era, like you can't really get much more close to the image than Mercedes. Like the pale white skin, the long poofy hair, like poof of hair, like tied up in the bands, the half like robe she wears. But see, for me, it's going to be our first A rank. Some people might think I might do it a little bit higher, a little bit. Some people think I might be below Petra or like above
I went for
but
A
no,
rank
it's
as
going to
well.
be A rank for me for Mercedes.
I went for A rank as well, so that.
So overall, so far we've been pretty close overall with our actual rankings for each person. I think the biggest so far I think has been Annette. I think overall high B for me, low C or low C for you. So that's probably been the biggest discrepancy so far is Annette. Which is actually saying quite a lot overall. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, nice. Now our 10th girl now coming up to the last of the Blue Lion girls, or technically I guess you won't count main Blue Lion girls, is Ingrid's. Yeah, Ingrid von Daphne, or Ingrid von Daphne. Sorry, Galatea. Sorry, Ingrid von Galatea. But yeah, Ingrid. That's going to be a very, I think, perplexing choice because some people adore her, some people despise her, and we'll cover the reason why people despise her. Because there's 2 reasons why people despise her overall. One major one more is on taste. Shall we get the elephant out of the room and go for the reason why most people despise her?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know about the support between Dedue and Ingrid?
Nope.
Do you want me to explain it?
Yep.
All right, it's not major spoilers. It's basically she didn't know the tragedy of the tragedy that they keep mentioning in the game of tragedy of the Duskar.
A little.
Yeah, so pretty much, basically, Ingrid's fiance was there guarding the actual royal, the royal family on the way towards one of the major cities of the Duskar, when there was an ambush which pretty much killed almost everyone there. It basically killed her fiance, it killed Dimitri's parents and family. Basically, Dimitri was the only one to survive that massacre there, set up as an ambush. And so pretty much it was blamed on the people of Duskar originally. So obviously you can tell between obviously Dedue being obviously of Duskar, Ingrid doesn't get on well with Dedue at all. And there's quite a bit, people thought about it as being racist to some degree. Because it was holding its entire prejudice against Dedue for being Duskan or Duskani or Duskar. So
it makes sense if you lose something important because of the tragedy there.
Yeah, so Ingrid holds a lot of disdain for Duskar people, and it all comes to a boiling point during one of her supports with Dedue, and it basically at some point like he has to like justify that you can't. I'm sorry for I don't know actually how you feel, but you can't blame every single person for what supposedly some people did. And actually, in the grand scheme of things, Duskans were completely innocent. It was a complete setup.
I mean, if you look at, for example, if people would still hate the Germans for what they did in Nazi times, I mean that's the same. I mean, it's okay to still grieve for what happened, but at the same time, it's not like the people are responsible for the deeds of someone else.
Yes, it's like the crimes of the father don't pass on to the sins of the father don't have on to the sins of the son.
And I mean,
obviously it happened during Dedue's time as well. It was like a year after. It was like I think 4 or 5 years after the tragedy of Duskar, where they meet up. So it's gonna be like 5-6 years since that time point anyway. But still.
Yeah.
She holds resentment for Dedue for that, even though he had nothing to do with it. Yeah, so it was sort of controversial. It wasn't very controversial compared to Bernie's support, which was apparently deemed probably the biggest controversy in the game's history so far, even though it wasn't massively controversial in the grand scheme of things.
Apparently, they censor like themes like people saying that other people have long legs and stuff like that. I saw on Annette's Wikipedia. It's wild. Fire Emblem. I mean, this Fire Emblem, they've spoken about topics that are really rough, really hard, and stuff like that. And then at the same time, they're like, yeah, but we cannot talk about people having long legs. It's really all over the place in that regard with Fire Emblem.
I mean, the Bernie one, I can sort of see why, obviously, because Nintendo is primarily a child-friendly company, but
at the same time, they've made Zombie U.
Yeah.
And Bayonetta on console.
Yeah, also with Bernie's support as well, obviously, apparently being trained to become a good submissive wife. A submissive wife can be interpreted in quite a bad way for some people, so I can see why that would be a thing.
At the same time, it does show the negativity of that. So the game is actively against that idea of a submissive wife. So, I mean, that fits with how most people think about it, and it's only good that you talk about it in games so that other people also can see why it's bad. But at the same time, I understand, because there's still a lot of people in the world that still see a submissive wife as something that's good, and you don't want to offend them because you're Nintendo. And Nintendo don't have balls.
Anyway, it was just a general point I was making on that part. Yeah, so that's the reason why Ingrid's one is a little bit controversial, but at the end of it all, they sort of like reconcile, and like she forgives, even though there's nothing to forgive anyway, but she sees past like her own blind rage, like basically held
her pain and her anger
towards the people of Dusker for the loss of her fiance. But yeah, and then the second part to Ingrid. Ingrid's probably the least feminine out of all the girls, even probably less than Lysithea. Because Ingrid's pretty much the essence of just like a knight, pretty much. Like, she has no interest in like anything overly like she is still a woman and she's proud of being a woman, but she doesn't care for like makeup, jewelry, fancy clothes. All she cares about is just training and becoming to be a knight. That's all she cares about. And throughout the entire most of the supports have Hilda. And heck, even like Lysithea at some point as well, trying to help her out, trying to become a little bit more feminine, because Dorothea, Ingrid, Lysithea, and Hilda are being forward for this sort of parallel. So they all try and make her, because she would be if Ingrid actually embraced her femininity a little more, she probably would be the most popular, not the most popular out of all the girls, but she would be a lot more popular between a lot more people. She just embraced that little trait a little bit more. She does near the end. She does embrace it a little bit more, but not really enough to really grab people's attention enough. But so she tries to become more feminist as time goes on, but. Yeah, she's incredibly pretty anyway. Apparently, she doesn't really wear makeup apart from a little bit of foundation. Apparently, a little bit of foundation is all she puts on, and that's all she puts on each morning. Yeah. Unlike Hilda, spends 45 minutes each day going through the entire routine of clothes, hair, skin, everything else.
Yeah, you see that in the supports for the other characters.
All Ingrid does is wake up. She wakes up, goes to her table, pats pat on each cheek. That's it, done. Move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apart from that, Ingrid wants to become the ideal knight to defend a lord, not just a lord. Probably maybe obviously a royal knight of Dimitri is probably her main goal. That's the thing as well, because Dimitri, Felix, Sylvain, and Ingrid were all close friends when they were all growing up. They were literally living in the same city, and they're actually in the same royal district with each other as well. So they all have that tight bond to actually they all work together to help Dimitri out. And that's her goal. She's she does get in. The only thing about Ingrid as well, that her father tries to offer marriages to nobles, because obviously they're not very rich, because they are technically a noble family, but only because of the graces of the previous king. Yeah. And they were allowed to have some sort of nobility, just even that small part, but she's technically still a noble. And so they're not very well off overall. So the probably reason why she's not very feminine as well, because she's had to live with relative poverty for noble anyway, but relative poverty as well.
She didn't really have the room for fancy ass shit.
No, not the money or the resources to spare for that sort of like Hilda or Lysithia
Those
she wanted to.
frivolities.
But yeah, so for me overall, Ingrid's gonna be, I don't know, because Ingrid is super cute because she's super attractive to me. I think for me personally, it's gonna be, I think, above Annette. It's gonna be a really high B rank, almost A rank, but very high B or first one B rank for me personally.
Yeah, I went with B as well. I mean, she's cute. The personality isn't like that
Deep.
Yeah, if we knew more about her, I would have put her higher. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, she doesn't
It's
really.
just that she doesn't quite fit with what I like in the world and stuff.
Because the only thing she talks about is basically training, knights, books, and food.
I mean, if that is her only personality, yeah, then
that's her major traits
really
anyway.
clear.
There's a few small other things, but almost not really worth noting. It's pretty much just her love for books, her food, which makes sense because how she grew up. And everything else, because she almost had, even being noble, she didn't have that much money. But yeah, books, foods, being a knight, and just training. That's her main dreams and concepts, is all that stuff together. So it feels like a little bit more like deeper than that alone. Then it might be an A rank, but even Mercedes has like more complex like personality, like with her likes and dislikes. Like she doesn't really dislike much of anything apart from, like, I'm not going to count like disliking Duskans because that's just a bullshit reason to actually put that on a list. So I'm not going to even count for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable, and she grows in that as well. She fixes that part of herself, so that's only positive, really.
But yeah, so Ingrid, she's taking first place on the B rank tier for now. Alright, Cornelia, where do we even begin? Alright, so just put F rank and move on. But no, seriously, Cornelia, yeah. People might like her, but I don't know reason why if anyone would ever like Cornelia. You haven't got that far in the game, have you, Paddy, with Cornelia?
Nope. I have no idea who she is.
So I can't really talk much about it, unfortunately, without spoiling anything for you.
I mean, I can just turn off the headphones and then you just tell me when we go on to the next one.
But how we know though when I can actually let you know on the
send me a text on Discord.
Oh yeah, I could use my phone actually. That's a good point. All right, I'll let you know on Discord.
Or keep chat open. That's also on Twitch. You send me a text there. That's also an option.
Oh yeah, I can just do it on here, can't I?
I'll keep Twitch open.
All right.
But I will be back in a second then.
Okay. Yeah. So Cornelia, where do we even begin? But yeah, apart from the fact that she's pretty much the reason why the kingdom is basically the way it is later on in the story, and like she's been the reason that she has killed thousands and thousands of people, and basically backstabbed the royal family after apparently she supposedly helped the kingdom of Argus during the plague 20 years ago to gain a position of power, so that she can then actually do whatever she needs to help out those who sliver in the dark and everything else and all the other bits and pieces. Yeah, I mean, if you like people that backstab you, or like someone with like, I don't know, massive ego and like a really twisted personality that wants to kill everyone. I mean, for me, Cornelia's really going to be a really easy like F tier. I mean, there's much more to really talk about apart from what she's been the reason that thousands of people have died. She has been a massive thorn in the kingdom's side during the actual whole war, and she's the reason why so many people have suffered and are dying because of her and her actions. I mean, there isn't much more to really say apart from that, is there? But for me, unless for every reason you like, I don't know, like that twisted personality, or you just like someone with big boobies, I don't know. But for me, easily F tier. Like there's no question. Like maybe I mean she is sort of pretty. That's the only thing I can sort of give her. But being pretty isn't enough to justify, you know, a tyrant and a murderous tyrant at that. So yeah, F tier. Easy really overall. Much more must really say. Especially not much more about know about her apart from this being the whole reason why she got into position of power in the first place, securing the actual the plague, and that was actually done on purpose, or that was all a ruse just to get this seat of power for happens later on. But yeah, for me, it's going to be an easy. It's going to be an easy F tier. Maybe very high or very low E tier to pick a minute for anyone else, but I doubt we're going to have anyone else really going to be that low. But yeah, for me, it's going to be F tier. Just an absolutely
I'm back.
Welcome back. But yeah, I have
an F tier.
Yeah, yeah. You'll know the reason why, Paddy, when you get there. Like,
what was she called?
Cornelia.
Cornelia. I'll agree with your 1 then.
But yeah, and usually I don't just fight on looks alone, but I'm just on personality completely. I won't go into any details because I'll spoil it for you.
I'll see it.
So yeah, it makes it a bit harsh without any context, but yeah, you'll know the reason why later on. All right.
She was a kingdom character, right?
Yes. The only thing I'll say about her, about her title is Royal Mage and the stand-in ruler for Dimitri. That's all I'll say about her, just to get so you got some context on who she actually is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Royal Mage and stand-in, I guess technically King/Queen or ruler. Yes, stand-in ruler for Dimitri.
Gotcha.
I can't remember what the actual name is for someone in assistant ruler. For an actual nation, but yeah. Alright, so now it's time for the Golden Deer Girls. Well, this is actually going to be quite hard with Mikashi. Out of all the actual... I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard for me to say that. I've got, like, Bernie, Petra, and Dorothea S rank, but... what's it going to look like later on, especially with Hilda, Leonie, Marianne, and Lysithia. Because they're pretty well-rounded overall, considering. But yeah, the retainer of the Golden Deer House, we have... Hilda von Goneril. Right, so, oh, sorry, no, it's Hilda, it's Hilda Valentine Goneril, sorry.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, Hilda is waifu.
Yeah, she is pretty waifu. I mean, but when I mean, for me, I know the reason why she is the way she is, and if it was just that on face value, she would be sort of low in the grand scheme of things. But when because of what I know of the story and where she actually is. Yeah. Through to doing it some other story.
I mean, in Three Houses, she's already a lot less, lazy. In Three Houses, you almost always see her really work hard and stuff. And I mean, minor spoiler, but in Three Houses, her brother also joins the party.
Oh, nice! I finally get to see the brother we've heard so much about.
You
All right.
Get to play as him.
Oh.
And that is basically the moment she switches from being a lazy ass bitch to being really supportive, really trying hard.
A badass general.
Especially trying for Marianne, of course. And she really gets fleshed out in Three Houses, which I really like.
Obviously, I can't say much about Hilda from Three Houses, but I'll put that into consideration. But yeah, but basically, if it was out any of the context of the later stuff of the story, Hilda would probably be like a very low B, maybe even a C rank. But yeah, Hilda, basically, as probably most people know, she is basically a textbook of lazy. She'll pretty much will let anyone do the work for her, and her reasoning why is that if she actually can let someone do the work for her, her actual work is actually lavished with praise for the work they've done for her. She won't let people do the work for her with no reward for them either, unless they just don't like them and need something done. But they're like, okay, thank you. But usually, she doesn't like it when she doesn't give them praise. She feels actually really bad. For example, the support with Ignatz, where Hilda was busy with something, so Ignatz did all the work, and before Hilda got back, actually, it was before trying to say, okay, Ignatz, I'm back. What can I do to help? And before she even realised Ignatz had already done all the work, and it was like, there you go, Hilda. Well, gotta get going now. See, it's like, hold on a second there, mister. And it was like, oh, what do I do? You didn't let me thank you for your work. I was like, oh, it was nothing. And then she started to get quite angry that she literally wasn't able to, she almost got basically thought that, well, if I don't give him any praise, then he's got no reason to help me next time. So it was sort of self-centered reason, but she still wanted to give thanks to Ignatz for doing the work for her. But the reason is, I know the reason why she's the way she is, and she says the reason why later on. But do you want me to say now, Perry, or leave it for now?
I'll leave it there now, since we're doing the Golden Deer playthrough on the other one.
Alright, so I won't go into that, but yeah, there's the reason why she acts the way she is, and it gives a lot more reasoning to why she does what she does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that front, but yeah, out of everyone, she's the most, apart from maybe Dorothea, obviously we mentioned earlier with Dorothea versus Hilda, like, she's probably like tied with Dorothea for elegance, but it's more of like a noble elegance more than just like Dorothea's pure grace elegance. I mean, out of both of them together...
It's more textbook.
Yeah, textbook elegance than just like pure, like, natural elegance of Dorothea.
No.
But yeah, she is basically...
In Three Hopes, she basically what she explained, and what you also see in the paralogue that she has with her brother, and I mean minor spoilers all over the place for Three Hopes, but you can see that she really doesn't like doing stuff, but at the same time, if it involves her friends being in danger, she's always on the front line. She doesn't care. She's gonna absolutely murder the fuck out of everybody that even comes near you.
Yeah.
To the point that the main character is like, I thought you were gonna cheer me on. You were so stuck so deep in the enemy lines, I couldn't even see you.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely
and she was
a thing.
like, yeah, I mean, there are so many enemies. I need to make sure that you were safe to receive my motivation.
Yeah.
And I really like that exchange between those two, because that is also how she is towards her brother and stuff, because she's like, her brother is the big burly guy that always does everything, and she's like the supporter on the sidelines, like, yay, go dude.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when there's a problem, she's there with a giant axe and she's gonna solve the problem.
I'm gonna shout, Hilda, Hilda.
Yeah. I mean that's just how she is, and I personally really like it. I like the Three Hopes version more than what I've seen of the Three Houses version. But then again, in the Three Hopes version, I'm further along in the story than I am with Three Houses, so maybe she'll become more like that in Three Houses. I don't know.
But yeah, that's the only thing. If Hilda properly like believed in herself and like, or didn't like let her like conscience get in the way, she would probably be one of the most powerful people. Also, I know that Bernie would be the most powerful person, but like, no joke, if Hilda actually like embraced her feelings and like didn't let her conscience get in the way, she'd probably be like, I think, even more powerful than like Caspar in terms of pure martial prowess and power.
Yeah, she just holds herself back.
Because her crest actually is a really powerful crest, because obviously Caspar doesn't have a crest either, so obviously he's still really powerful, but considering the crest that she contains and the ability to wield the relic that Caspar can't, in terms of like pure like power, like, see, probably Hilda and Bernie are probably the most powerful people, because Bernie's crest is flat out broken, dude. Like, seriously. In terms of like pure power, it's one of the most rare crests in the entire game. Never mind also with Hilda's crest as well, along with power to actually wield one of the most powerful of the actual relics. Like, it's ridiculous. But so yeah, for me personally, obviously with Hilda's back with obviously being like lazy, but for reasons that we won't explain, but also for how pretty she is and gorgeous. She is gorgeous. You can't really deny. I mean, fun fact: when I first actually saw like a good friend of mine, Jamel, first play the game, while I was actually complaining about, I said, "Should I get my on Switch? Because I actually really want. This game looks awesome." Like, out of everyone first, I actually fell in love with Hilda first, even before Bernie. I was like, oh, look at all these girls. I was like, oh, okay, that one's really pretty, that one's pretty. Oh, who's that person there, the pink hair? I was immediately drawn to Hilda straight away. Like, she was my first, like, real, like, oh, look at that person. Like, out all that's like, my favourite.
Huge cutie.
Yeah, so, for me, what's our case? I know where mine's going. Where's yours going, Paddy, here for this one?
Hilda is an S.
Okay, interesting. For me, it's actually S, it's an A, top of A.
Oh no!
I know.
How dare you?
I know. It's really close. It's almost S rank, but for me, if it wasn't for the fact of how she actually her idea, I mean, she got a good reason for it, but she didn't let that reason get behind her. It would be top of the middle of S rank. It'd be ahead of Petra. But because of that, it's she's incredibly gorgeous. She's elegant to a fault, but it's one massive thing for me is the actual like her motivation and her like her own self holding herself back. If it wasn't for that and actually she embraced it more, then it would be S rank. But it's nothing major, but enough to actually knock it from S rank to A rank, but only barely for. It's basically top of A rank for me.
No,
I'm sorry, dude.
Unacceptable.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you know. I mean, I could say the same for obviously Petra for me was S rank, and it was A rank for you for Petra. So you know, fair. But no, if
I just like the combo of her not looking that, big and strong and stuff like that. Meanwhile, with an X, she is like the highest strength ever.
Yeah, it's like
so fun.
Professor, how does Professor do anything with these newly little arms?
Yeah, but she's also so dependable in a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, if it involves her friends, then she would do anything that it takes. It's just that she doesn't have the motivation in most things. That's
yeah, and that's why I hold her down to the A rank. It's because of that, and one other reason I won't go into because obviously I'll be spoiling it for you.
It's also not that she grows too much in that, does she? It's not like she suddenly becomes actually dependable and actually does stuff. She's still the lazy one to let everybody else do everything.
Yeah, and that's
only whenever there's a shit show then she appears and becomes a goddess of death.
And that's why I sort of have it was for that, because obviously with Dorothea, Petra and Bernie, they embrace that all the way. Even if Bernie has like still like a fear and anxiety, she still tackles it the best she can without actually trying to hold herself back. Dorothea will fight anyway because that's what she hasn't got much else to fight for apart from her life and her friend and her potential future. I mean, Dorothea fights for her future. She didn't fight for it. Then she has nothing to really live for. So that's why she does that. Petra fights for her country.
Doesn't really have anything to fight for.
Yeah, Bernie fights for her self-confidence and be something of use to people.
Yeah.
Dorothea fights for her future, of what little she might have, or what her life she wants to try and hold on to, what little she has. And Petra fights not only for herself but for her entire country of Bridget. So, in the grand scheme of things, that's why I put Hill down to A rank, because if it wasn't for her her self-doubt and whatever reason was said before, it would be S rank. It would probably be ahead of Petra. So that's my reasoning for A rank. It's really close to S rank, but it's just enough to squeeze it into A rank, top of A rank. Alright, Leonie! Now, what can I say about Leonie apart from that she's gorgeous?
Yeah, but she can be so fucking annoying with her idolizing of Gerald.
Like, that's the one big elephant in the room is, I want to be just like Captain Gerald when I grow up. I'm going to be just like Captain Gerald. I want to be with Captain Gerald. You're not as good as Captain Gerald. I want to be as strong as Captain Gerald.
She needs more independence.
Yeah, she needs more than just like, I'm Captain Gerald's first and greatest apprentice. Leonie Pinelli. But apart from excluding that's going to take in quite a big thing for scoring for me later on. But apart from that, she is like she gets stuff done. She can get things done that most people can't do. She's a master hunter, not as good as Petra, but she's up there. So it's probably like the second best hunter out there. She's Shamir, probably like the third best hunter. Shamir's got more experience. It's probably Petra, then Shamir, then Leonie in terms of huntresses out everyone.
Yeah.
But her skill with a lance, bow, spear, lances, bow, horse riding. She is quite versatile with all those sort of fields. Obviously, everything that Captain Gerald apart from the bow. But basically, most of her inspiration for her fighting comes from Captain Gerald.
Yeah.
But she is literally like a master hunter, pretty much. She literally grew up in a hunting village. She is really good. She's not like stingy. She just hates things being wasted. And I can see where she's coming from. I don't like wasting things like food. Like if I'm full, I won't throw it away. If I can keep it, I'll package it up, put it in the fridge for next time. But I won't throw it. No, I'm gonna throw it away. I'm not gonna bother putting it away.
I had a conversation about that yesterday with my girlfriend as well. That one of my biggest weaknesses in losing weight is just I cannot waste food.
Yeah.
If there's somebody that has food left on their plate,
I'll eat it.
I cannot stop it.
Yeah, 'cause
I need to eat it, especially for things like meat, because of course, for meat, an animal has died. So
Yeah,
it's even more worth more than just a
yeah,
couple of
that's
veggies.
same with me. If I'm so full about to throw up, I won't actually, because it's actually worse to throw up actually anyway, because then you're wasting that food you just eaten.
Then you waste double.
Yeah. So if it's meat, I'll eat the meat first, usually most of the time, so make sure that it doesn't get wasted at all. And now if I literally can't finish, I will stop, but I'll keep going until literally all it's gone if I can manage it. So some people find it really annoying with Leonie, thinking that she's really stingy and like, well, I'm not going to spend anything. I'm going to reuse old dish soaps and and oils and stuff and old rags to make the towels.
That's not stingy.
That's being resourceful.
Yeah, and that's just going up with not a lot, and still.
Especially when you got to try and pay back your village.
With it.
Yeah, because she was only able to get into the monastery thanks to everyone. Everyone chipped in everything they had to get Leonie in here, so they could so she could kind of master top tier mercenary, so she could pay back everyone in the long haul. So that's her motivation as well for not wasting anything, so she can maximize her money for her people. Because it wasn't if she was like a normal noble, like like Petra, but she doesn't waste stuff that much either, but. She basically was got paid her way in, or like under her circumstances, like she wouldn't probably mind as much, but she hasn't got the money to actually. She needs to have every gold she needs to pay back her village, plus with interest for how much she gave her.
Exactly.
She's got a huge burden on her shoulders, which I find incredibly attractive. That she has a massive burden like that she's actually putting everything into.
Yeah, but she really has a goal that is understandable and a goal that is, she has the right goal in mind. Something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be the best way to say it.
I mean, there isn't much more we know about her backstory, apart from that she grew up in a hunting village, Captain Gerald came through one day, Captain Gerald made her a personal necklace, which she keeps on her at all times. Like, she's obviously probably the least elegant of all the girls, even less than Ingrid. But she doesn't care about that. She hasn't got time to worry about those sort of...
She's a tomboy.
Yeah, which actually I quite like, actually. I'm quite a big fan of tomboys. Especially with short hair as well, which makes it even more attractive for me.
Nothing wrong with a tomboy.
No. But yeah, so that's one scene that I can't stand watching. It makes me like wince every time. Do you know what I refer to?
I don't know.
Have you seen this? This is a Sylvain Leone one.
I don't think so.
So pretty much like obviously you know Sylvain tries to hit on every girl that passes. Yeah, whenever Leone passes, he doesn't even try to make an attempt to try and hit on. And she takes massive offence to that. Oh, you hit on every girl that passes you, but you won't make a pass at me. And it's like, oh, Leone. Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
I have actually.
I'm
seen
like,
it.
oh.
Such a dick move.
I'm like, dude, you don't do that.
No.
At least if you're not interested, at least try and pretend you're interested. Actually, you can at least pretend to you try and hit on me, you know.
Yeah.
And
Or just be honest. Just tell her like, no, you're not exactly. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love Leone. For me, she's attractive as shit. The only thing is that I wish she was a little bit more. If she was a little bit more elegant, she would probably be S rank for me. But
then again, if you have Leone, you have a girlfriend that can literally lift you over her head. I mean, come on.
Yeah, she'll break you like Bane.
Yeah. Yes.
She'll manhandle you in the bedroom.
Those arms.
But no, if she was a little bit more elegant, she would be S rank for me. But for me, it's good. Everything all considered, I love short hair. I love the tomboy aesthetic. She's incredibly dependable. She'll do anything that she needs to. Yeah, for me, it's going to be it's actually going to be between Leone, between Hilda, and Mercedes. It might not be a very popular opinion, but for me, it's going to be. Most people I've seen rank her quite low, but everything's on it that I love. Short hair, tomboy, great personality. The only thing that she's missing is a little bit of elegance. If she had a little more elegance, she probably would be either behind Petra or ahead of Hilda. All right, my number three. Marianne. Right, so yes, but yeah, it's also a very polarizing option I've seen of a lot of people. Not as polarizing as Bernadetta, but yeah, this is actually up there for most people for controversial and also a very bipolar options. I've seen Mary Ann at as low as E rank. I've never seen her at F rank, but I've seen her as low as E rank, as high as S rank. I guess it depends on how much. Like, obviously, let's get to the two or the three big elements of the room. Actually, there's one I can't talk about. It's spoilers, which is basically her incredibly low self-confidence.
No.
One's too dark to talk about in general. One's too spoiler heavy, which we'll get into in the future anyway, Paddy.
She does grow a lot in her self-confidence.
Yeah, actually, I will talk about I should talk about it, but I'm going to do it in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, sure.
It's obviously not going to be. It's basically a little bit of a spoiler, but not really, because everything falls into place once you actually get to the second half of the game, regardless, no matter what route you do. So pretty much during the initial, you know, this little sea support with Mary Ann, which is in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, no, she was making a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't actually to goddess herself personally or for anyone else's benefit. It was for her own benefit, and she was asking for strength from the goddess. And depending on your choices that you do, basically she vanishes from the game after a certain point. And it isn't because that she just retires from the actual war. It's sort of like suggested that she actually committed suicide.
Oof.
Because she literally couldn't handle like the burden or the pressure of basically feeling useless anymore. Because that's all I'll go into it anyway. Because it's I could go into it more, but I'm not going to go down that path. But it's pretty much it's insinuated. It's not actually I think confirmed, but because of like some of the supports and the wording and what, and you just don't see her anywhere in any way, shape, or form.
No need for it.
But yes, without the professor's guidance and the support, she couldn't get through it all. That's the elephant in the room now, which is basically, well, yeah, her lack of self-confidence. Like, she's literally, like, probably worse than Bernie in that degree. At least Bernie is just more, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Panicky? But she at least will actually attempt to try and talk to people sometimes. But Mary Ann's is like, oh, you shouldn't be around me. I don't know what to say. Or, I'm cursed. You shouldn't be around me. I'm just a bad influence on you. Like, she'll just try and get out of any sort of, like, thing at all. Like, not even Bernie, even if she's actually calm with someone. Like, even if she's calm with someone, she doesn't want to talk to them. Unless she's, like, really, like, calm with an animal. Or, like, someone that she can fully trust, which is really hard. Even the professor can't even really do that at the start. Because even, like, Bernie can talk to the professor somewhat decently. Mary Ann can't. Mary Ann can't even do that. So it shows you how even worse than Bernie.
You need to do goat yoga to talk to her.
Yeah. You pretty much need to be having a perfect situation where she can feel like at ease, best possible, like with an animal or like the scenery. So in that front, she's even worse than Bernie, and that's why she's so polarizing for most people as well. It's because of that insatiable like just self-doubt and just like self-pity. Like she is like the definition of like self-pity and like everything else. I mean, I know the reason why. You
need to be able to look past that.
And a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. That is
that's the biggest point.
Polarizing thing. Do you understand where it comes from? Do you have the patience to deal with it?
And do you have
know
the actual
other people in real life probably that are
like that?
Pathetic? No. Unconfident.
Yeah.
If you know other people that are like that, or you know there's a part of you that's also really unconfident, then you can understand it. If you don't know that, if you haven't seen that in real life, I can understand that it's absolutely grating to be around.
Yeah, I can see that being an actual thing. But that's the thing though, is that once you actually like watch more of her supports, and especially with certain people, and obviously a lot of the actual C supports and B supports, some of them are better than others, but a lot of them are just like people talking bad stuff to them, and she just accepts all the bad stuff that people say about her. And it's like, but whenever she gets like a compliment from someone, especially like either Ignatz, or from the Professor, or from like Raphael, and a few other people that like actually say that when she actually does smile, I mean, out of everyone, she has the most like adoring smile of everyone, but it's so rare to see. But when she does smile, and when she does laugh, it literally like almost melts your heart because it's actually so nice for her to actually see.
Yeah.
Like she had her laugh is like so intoxicatingly adorable. Like, 'cause it's so rare to actually hear her laugh as well and smile. But when she does smile, it's literally like watching, like literally like an angel, pretty much. It's like, it's stargazing.
Yeah.
That's why when she does smile and laugh, it's so nice to see. It's just so rare though. That's what makes it even more special, I think, though, because it's so rare to see. But when you bring it all down together, like she will, once she actually is confident, because from what I know, actually the professor gives her all the confidence that she actually needs, and she actually turns her life completely around, like almost like a complete 180. She has the confidence. She knows what she wants. She doesn't let people actually like walk all over her. She has the power that she needs.
She needs a strong group of friends around her. She needs a partner that has patience for her,
And
that wants
understanding.
to bring her somewhere, and that also can just every now and then pull her out of
A comfort zone.
her head, out of her ass. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Just someone who just takes her along to do shit, because I mean, every now and then she just needs to be forced to do shit.
Yeah, like Bernie, because it wasn't for like the professor's like pushes, she wouldn't have
exactly.
been the way she was. It's just like sometimes you have to tackle your fear. Otherwise, she'll never be able to overcome it and just be held back by it for all your life. And if no one pushes you or tries to push you out of that, it may be awful. But if you don't, you'll never get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
you just need to have someone who has the patience to understand that she basically, for every day that she does stuff, she needs 2 days to recover.
Yeah,
that's basically
also,
what you need to keep in mind.
But yeah, also, do you want me to go over the ending for Mary Ann as well, especially for male Byleth anyway? Or do you want me to not mention that for now? Because it only works with male Byleth as well.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so pretty much in a roundabout way, that obviously after the whole thing is all settled and done, like obviously once again, wants to get adopted father, wants to sell off her Mary Ann to a wealthy noble, blah 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 blah. But she's like, no, I'm going to head back home and try to explain to my father and everything. Like, I'm going to do what I want to with my own life. And it's like, well, in that case, Mary Ann, I want obviously blah 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 blah. And it's like after that, actually, she has another epiphany right down on the spot after Byleth asked the question, and it's like, I'm going to head back anyway with you by my side and show you what I'm capable of. And obviously after that, Mary's like, thank you so much, Professor. I guess thank you, I guess for some Byleth, whatever. Thank you for giving me the world, because pretty much the Professor did give her the world. If it wasn't for the Professor, she wouldn't even be there. Like, literally, the Professor changed her life completely for every single thing better for her. Her confidence, her feelings, her faith, her stature. Literally, she gave basically a rebirthed Mary Ann to basically what she is now, and that's what made my heart absolutely melt when I saw that. Like, the transformation of what she was to how she is. And that's why, for me, she's my third favourite. If anyone, my third favourite. So yeah, she's probably anyway. From that, you already know I'm placing Mary Ann behind Dorothea. That's my number 3. S rank. I can see where people might think I'm going to be a really bad choice, because some people have had like much lower or don't agree. But that's the thing. This is my personal list. You don't agree with it, I understand. You can have whatever you want. But for me, her growth has been probably the biggest out of everyone. Like literally a complete 180 for the character.
Probably even bigger than Bernie.
Yeah, because Bernie will still always have those actual attacks. And that's understandable, because Mary Ann wasn't tortured the same way like Bernie was, but Mary
Ann honestly came from a little bit lower, because Bernie could at least talk to people somewhat.
Yeah,
whereas
Mary Ann
really struggled more with it.
She could barely even say more than hello, and that's it. That's pretty much all she said. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have to go. That's pretty much all she said for so long, was those two lines.
Yeah.
So for me, Mary Ann is an S rank. Agree with me, disagree, that's absolutely fine. But for me, Mary Ann is my third place. In order, it is it's Bernie, it's Dorothea, followed by Mary Ann, closely behind Dorothea. Then it's Petra, and then number 5 is Hilda for me so far out of everyone. But yeah, okay, at this point we're going to be like the elephant in the room as well. Lysithea von Ordelia. Now, where do we begin with the sorcerer prodigy? Or in case of the sorceress prodigy?
I mean,
I guess we can call her. I guess we can start with her being a loose cannon.
Yeah, but like Lascivia starts off being really annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not small. I'm not young.
I'm not a child.
And that is so fucking grating, honestly.
But yeah, there's one thing that I could talk about, but I won't talk about it because we will get to that at some point in the future. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, dude. But I know that's the reason why she acts the way she is. I'm not going to mention it in this video at all.
No, but I mean, I understand that there's a reason why she acts like that. It's just like it's just fucking annoying. And then she grows on people, and she becomes more of the dependable older sister, really, than the younger sister. You know?
Yeah, because she's incredibly she's incredibly smart. She literally, I think her title is like the sorceress prodigy.
Yeah.
Like she's probably like the smartest person in magic in basically like the last 100 years in like history of Fodland.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally no one more powerful than her in terms of pure magical power. I think the only person that might be able to contest her is Constance, I think.
And also with her double crest and stuff like that.
Yeah, giving her untold power, actually in conjunction with that as well, it's unbelievable. They're able to conserve magic, so she can cast more of it and more potent magic as well than most other people. The only one that can even, I think, can even contest her magical ability, especially, is I think Constance. That's it.
Nice.
But yeah, so Lysithia, so basically, as you probably already know, she seems quite bratty, quite immature, or like very like quick to like stab at people, basically treating her the way she is. But you see that a lot in the actual early supports. But in the more later supports, she seems to come to terms with more of like the situation between what she has with most people. It's not like she's willing to let the people say what they want. It's just like that she sees the merit in what they say. Given time, it's like she's very impulsive. That's her one big issue. Her emotions very quickly overwrite any sort of like what she should do in that situation. Especially if someone teases her as well, and instantly shoots her basically anoints up to 100 straight away. And that can cloud her judgment until later on, until after she's had some time to reflect on what she said. Then she's like, "Oh no, I probably shouldn't have said that." So, but that's the one thing. She does have empathy. If she had no empathy, she would be incredibly unlikable. But she does have empathy, though. That's the one thing for her actions and her words.
Yeah.
And like 8 times out of 10, she does apologise a lot of the time. A few of them she doesn't apologise for. But for most of them, she does apologise. Like with Ignat, she realised that she was being a little bit too harsh. What she was saying to him. I was like, maybe I went a little bit too far. And that sort of thing, but there's only like a few people like sort of want to like what she was Sylvain, or she takes no shit with Sylvain. That's the thing, actually. At least even Sylvain tries to hit more on Lysithia than actual Leonie, but Lysithia's like, yeah, Sylvain, I don't care.
That's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, Lysithia knows, but the dude just doesn't care. It's like, yeah, I've got more important things than talk to you. But yeah, like Lysithia though later on just becomes like this incredible like tactical genius. Like she's probably like the smartest person out of everyone in terms of like pure like tactical ability and just raw destructive power. Especially with her crests and with the right weaponry and the skills, she is just like literally a tactical nuclear warhead. Like if she sees something, she can just fire something at it and it just either gets incinerated or like sent to the Shadow Realm or just. Literally, the atoms get torn apart from their body, and then they're like, "Oh, there you go, you're gone." Just atomizes people. The only real downside to her, especially in battle, is like her naivete, and also just obviously, she's incredibly frail. She literally gets a glass cannon, but that's how powerful she is. She can stop people before she even gets close to them. But yeah, what can we really say about Lysithia? We've already gone over the main points already. That she's basically incredibly like quite defensive,
smart.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive for her own good in conversation with most people, but it's justified. I can't go into more detail without spoiling the story for Paddy anyway. So, but yeah, so for me, I think personally for me, it's going to be the highest rank of B for me. For me, it's going to be. For me, it's going to be top of B for me.
for me, it's an A.
Ah, okay, all right. I can see that. Being, but that's actually kind of surprising. But yeah, overall we've been pretty close in overall. I think some of our biggest actual disagreements have been at net so far overall. But also a good point. It's top of A, medium of A's.
I think our biggest was actually Edelgard.
Really? Because I put a C.
Yeah, but I put her on the like a lower D, and you put her on a higher C.
Ah, all right. Okay, fair. Yeah, that's fair enough.
But Annette is also
Close.
Bit of a difference.
But yeah, anyway,
Hilda is also an A versus a B, of S versus an A, of course.
Also curious as well, Patty, where do you put the Lascivia roughly? Like high A, low A, medium A?
Behind the other girls an A, so I'd say lower A.
Fair enough. So not too far away actually. Though I got a high B, almost low A.
Yeah, exactly. Mine is some A minus, yours is a B plus. So really doesn't differ. The difference is
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I took care of the main. It wasn't all the main female students, but yes. Now we've got Judith Daphne up next, or as Patty says, Big Mum Energy.
Yeah.
The BME. See, that's the thing. We don't know a lot about Judith, apart from obviously she's one of the leader of the 5 major houses.
In 3 houses, there comes more forward, like that Cloud and Judith have a pretty good relationship, as in friendly relationship. But like he also sees Judith as the older, wiser, possibly mom-ish type.
Yeah.
Whereas Cloud is, more. Cloud has a lot of things riding on him, and he has a really strong group of friends that try and support him. But Judith really is
the rock.
The rock, the main person for Cloud.
I mean, I don't actually know that the actual if it's actually family related, or it's actually just it's just maybe Judith was a teacher or instructor for Claude while growing up.
I mean, they technically aren't family, but he does see her as family. I think.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
My personal. I think Judith is one of the most important people in Cloud's life, just because she's so responsible and helped him with so many things, and helped him while he grew up, and basically got him growing in Vodland in the Alliance.
But yeah, so apart from that, we don't know much about Judith in the grand. We get a little bit here and there between different parts of the story, but we don't exactly know much about her, apart from being obviously the hero of Daphne, which won apparently countless battles for the Alliance and skirmishes against bandits, pirates, whatever.
If we get further on in Three Hopes, we'll get to know more about her.
Yeah, so for now, I can't really rate her, apart from, I won't really rate her overall. It's just the bond, her attitude, which is she is loyal to a fault. I can't imagine almost being anyone more loyal to Claude than her. Yeah. Apart from maybe Hilda, it might be the only person that might be even more loyal.
I think Judith might actually be more loyal, as far as I can. Estimate.
So I don't know where to really place Judith. Actually, it's not going to be C rank because everything altogether. It has to be at least, I think, middle B. I think, or very least bottom of B. But I think
her on B as well.
I think I'm going to put her. In the middle of B rank overall. If we knew more about her overall, more of her backstory, more of her accomplishments and stuff, or just future stuff that she did, I could maybe rank her higher. But I can't really rank her any lower than, I don't think myself personally, lower than C. So I'm going to put her. I'm going to put her between Annette and Monica. I think if I had to choose between either Monica or Judith, I think I would choose. Maybe if I knew more about Monica, maybe Monica more. But from what I know more about Judith than I know Monica. So I'm going to put Judith only slightly ahead of Monica. So almost not on the bottom of B, but low B. What about you, Paddy?
Yeah, I've put her on a solid B.
Yeah, so she's sort of, for me, it's not too far away then. She's just slightly lower than B for me for that. So I'll say, so currently, before we get to the proper now, last portion of the people, I guess the tech instructors and just academy stuff, we have 4 in S rank, being Bernie being number 1, Dorothy number 2, Mary being number 3, and Petra being number 4, the bottom of S rank. Then top of A rank, we have Hilda, followed by Leonie, then followed by Mercedes. Then we've got B rank, which contains, top of B is Lysithia, followed by Ingrid, followed by Annette, then Judith, then Monica. Then at C rank we have Ilgard and Fleisch. D rank we have Ladislava. And then we've got no one in E rank yet, surprisingly enough. But I think I might have one person being there somewhat soon, but we'll see. Have to wait and see. And then we have at the very bottom, poop tier, we've got Cornelia.
No.
Alright, so yeah, up next we've got the instructors, I guess, or the actual, the Church of Cerberus instructors and professors. We have Catherine. Now, where I start with Catherine.
I mean, she's strong, she's cool, but she's
Yeah.
a really waifu material in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people that adore Catherine, but for me personally, her attitude and like the way that she does things is so it's very how do I really describe it? Like very
Two-dimensional?
brawnish. Like
Yeah,
she loves to fight, she loves to eat, she loves to basically like go at parties that loves.
She's one of the dudes, basically.
Yeah.
She's really chill to have as a friend. I wouldn't want her as a partner.
Yeah, like at the party, like she'd be one of the last people up drinking until everyone else passes out, pretty much.
Yeah,
like she'd be like drinking ale where everyone's passing out around her. Like, yeah, come on, I can go for another 2 more. Come on, you wussies.
Yeah,
I can see why some people. I mean, I've never seen like the file supports with the actual Byleth or whatever Byleth you can do it with. Not sure if we can do both or just male Byleth. But from what I can, unless maybe she has like a softer side, but she always seems a bit too garish for my liking. I mean, some people like that, but for me, it's just a bit too much for me personally.
She's too much of a bro.
I mean,
To the
looks
point that
wise,
you
I prefer Ladislava over Catherine, but at least like that's the thing as well for me is with Catherine. It's like from what I know that she will follow Leorea's word to the T. So the same thing with Edelgard and Ladislava. Like anything Rhea says, she would do as well.
She's willing to die for Lady Rhea, absolutely.
The only thing I can think of is that if Lady Rhea gave the order to kill innocent children, she might hesitate more than Lady Ladislava would. Maybe, but I don't know that.
I think she would do it, but she would have many questions.
And regrets after, I think, as well, after the deed is done.
She would never be the same.
See, that's the thing. At this run, I don't think I have anyone actually at E ranks. It doesn't really matter if I don't actually, but it's just how I personally feel. But I think I'm having too much in the upper bracket. But,
I mean, Catherine is better than Ladislava.
Yeah, definitely. Because at least I think she would hesitate more than Ladislava would for the order. I think she would do it, but she would hesitate a lot more.
I'd personally give Catherine a C.
See, for me, I was going to put her at the top of D rank. That's just everything. But obviously, with Catherine, obviously, there's actually more of Catherine's backstory as well. About obviously, she was a younger mercenary, or whatever else. So she ran away from home. She basically met Lady Rhea one time somewhere, and then was basically indebted to Lady Rhea.
As a person, she's not bad.
No, she's not.
It's just that she's too much of a bro.
She said a two-dimensional character.
And I mean, a D rank would be for someone who's, just not chill, really.
Yeah.
Whereas Catherine is actually pretty chill. She's just a dude.
Yeah.
So maybe, don't touch tier, but not shitty person tier.
Yeah. D tier for don't touch. Unless you want to get your hand chopped off.
Then Ladislava needs to drop to E tier for ew.
Yeah, for Ladislava, ew. And F tier for fuck that. But not actually, F it. Just fuck that.
SC is for cool.
So, I don't think I'd call Elgard cool.
She's absolutely cool. She's the coldest person I know.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, anyway,
D is
bitchin'.
Tier.
Yeah, beauty.
Bitchin' also.
Bitchin' tier. Because technically, that actually can mean that's awesome. That's bitchin'.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
And then
A is
is,
awesome, and S is just spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I'm going to be putting Catherine at, probably not going to be a very popular opinion, but I'm going to be putting her in the D tier, height above Ladislava. No, excuse me. I'm trying to... Thank you. But yeah, it's like, for example, if I had to...
We should play Mary Snack Kill.
Yeah.
Mary Snog Kill.
Oh, that's going to be fun at one point. That's going to be fun at some stage. But yeah, if I had to choose between, for example, either Catherine or Fleisch, I would pick Fleisch overall because at least she's got more femininity. It's not femininity that's only a judge.
Girl.
At least it's actually somewhat of a resemblance to a girl. But no, seriously though, if I had to choose between either Catherine or Fleisch, it would be Fleisch more because just more personality gels together with mine, for example.
Also,
not by a huge amount.
Catherine has ridiculous booby plate armor.
Yeah.
It's just a no.
No. I mean, practicality on the battlefield. Come on, guys, get with it. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want the sword to get stuck between your tits now, do you?
No, imagine that. Anyway, Shamir. Now, there's actually going to be a lot more to talk about overall, but Shamir, same like Catherine, was a mercenary, came from Dagda, basically owed her life to Rhea, so she accepted to take a position here at the academy. But yeah, Shamir. This is actually kind of like basically like the, I don't want to say goth or emo, but it's part. I've seen people actually tag her as like the emo chick.
She is a little bit cold.
But there's a reason for it anyway.
In Three Hopes, you see more of her nice side, basically. She is pretty nice. She does try and help people. She is motivated to do a lot of stuff. And what I've seen of her in Three Houses so far, she's kind of cold and aloof.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
in that regard, I like her Three Hopes version more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much you've seen of her in Three Houses, but I won't go into too much in case I won't spoil it for you, in case you might see it or might not see it. But she seems really like calculating and like really like, nah, I don't really care. But actually, she actually does care deep down. As the story goes on, she does care more and more and more, especially if you actually make it the effort, especially with everyone together, working hard. She sees people having fun during the off time, seeing people, the light in people's eyes and the hope that people carry.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, actually, she actually does have a major soft side. It's sort of like a Felix sort of thing, where like she wants to show off her feelings, but she doesn't want to seem weak to people. She wants to seem like she's a strong person that needs to keep up that front. But when you actually break down those barriers, actually, I've seen the actual ending cutscene for Shamir, and it's actually really charming. She actually like lets down her guard completely, and actually she embraces like her more feminine side, and it's actually really cute to see. Actually, she's like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm being like forward or anything, but I would like to spend more time with you. Like she actually wants to accept that sort of like someone to love her. So for me, between actually Catherine and Shamir, like supposed to be like best friends together, but for me it's actually like I love Shamir a lot more than I love Catherine. I don't hate Catherine at all, but if I had to choose between Catherine or Shamir, yeah, at least Shamir actually does have that. She can give it. I mean, Catherine does give it a little bit to her femininity, but no, it doesn't really hold a candle to Shamir. Especially, she does have like more of like a more colder side, but when she does let down her guard, so much actually she does like and actually love, it shines through way more. She actually to show off her femininity a lot more, which is it's incredibly nice to see. And can see what she's been through. Is actually, so for me personally, I'm going to put Shamir into the A rank. I'm going to put her between Mercedes and Leonie. Yeah, for me, it's going to be. But people might not agree with me, but I'm placing Shamir in between Leonie and Mercedes.
I mean, for me, Shamir was the low B tier, but I think that's also part that I just don't know enough.
Yeah, if I told you the reason why, and you've seen the scenes I've seen, I think you would understand. But from what I've seen as well, when she does let down her guard, it's actually one of the most charming of the ending cutscenes. I mean, she still has that sort of like, it's going to be hard for her to check off that demeanor completely, but seeing her let down her guard and actually like let her actual femininity show through more often, it's like. It's actually really nice to see. It's like melts your heart a little bit to actually find someone that she loves. and actually have someone here worth fighting for and stay here instead of her just moving on somewhere else to God knows where. Alright, here we go. This is probably going to be a fun one. Manuela! Alright, where do we begin with Manuela, Paddy? I mean, we got a lot to dissect with.
MILF.
Yeah, big boobie. Big boobage.
And Suzu's demonetized on YouTube.
Mind you, I haven't got 1,000 subs yet, so I can't even get monetization. Aha.
Oof. So I can talk about boobies all around.
Absolutely. But no, properly, Manuela.
If Manuela wouldn't hang so much into that desperate housewife aesthetic that she's got going,
yeah,
I think that would make it a lot better.
She lays it on. That's the thing. Like, you're not supposed to like judge someone on how they act, but it's kind of hard to do it when like they can't see like flirtatious. Like, I mean, Dorothea's also flirtatious, but she does it for.
I mean, I think
the same
she
sort
would be
of reason.
really nice to have as a friend. Just you know, someone to drink with, someone to have fun with, to go out with, that kind of stuff. I don't think she would be nice as a partner. Then again, I haven't seen her as being someone's partner because she cannot hold down a partner because of how she is.
Yeah, so let's go. First of all, let's get the bad stuff out the way. Because she does have some good points to us. Let's get the bad stuff out the way first of all.
Yeah.
The biggest problem, she's incredibly like overly flirtatious, and it's a bit too like what's the word I'm looking for? Overbearing.
Slutty.
Yeah, I was going to use a more elegant word, but yeah, slightly works too. But yeah, she lets it show a bit too much, and it's a bit too overkill for most people as well, especially trying to like make it for first impressions.
Yeah.
Some people might like that sort of like approach, but not me personally.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind that if that person is a friend of mine, but I wouldn't want to have a relationship with it.
Yeah, reason number 2 is that she's also like very unkempt, like she doesn't take care of herself at all. Which technically shouldn't be a big reason, but she lets herself go way too much. She drinks too much and then lets herself go, either in her self-image and also her self-confidence.
I mean, that's not necessarily something I mind. I do mind the self-confidence part.
Yeah, because she usually she overdrinks to like overcome like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm so lonely and depressed, I need to drink more to forget the sorrow. Like, she relies on the alcohol to get her through way too much for my liking. I mean, that's fair enough, especially if you try to look at me. I don't know how long she's been single for, but I guess you've been looking for love for like, what, 10, 15 years? After a while, it can start to really like grind down, like, am I just that undesirable?
Yeah.
But mind you, the way she goes about it as well doesn't try to change anything either, thinking that, I don't need to change, I have just got to find the right person that likes me for who I am. And unfortunately, it's all a massive turn off for most people, like some people like flirtatious, but then some people don't like the overbearingness of it all. People don't like the way she behaves or the way she drinks too much and everything else. And it's just like all of it adds up together to actually not a lot of people are going to like that entire prospect at all.
Yeah.
And it's just for one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, on top of another.
Yeah, she's a little bit much.
I mean, sure, most other girls on this list have some sort of issues, but they don't drink to actually, obviously, because most of them are too young to drink anyway, but they could easily drink a little bit at the actual places, but they don't drink to, like, over excess.
No.
Obviously, it's never stated that anyone actually does drink of the students, but I'm pretty sure they do drink occasionally. They're old enough and stuff anyway to have, like, a small, like, occasional, like, I don't know, cider, apple, whatever it is, whatever they have there, flavoured wine, whatever it would be. But yeah, it's not like my mum who overdrinks to excess and passes out, and then like her room gets messy, and then she invites a guy back to her room, and then like, well, shit, I'm not going in there, and then fucks off.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough of her bad points for now. Anyway, she's incredible songstress. Her beauty is really good, but she relies too heavily on her beauty and not actually like. I mean, Dorothea does as well, but it's because of a fear. Because she has no land at all, she has no birthright, she has no fortune, she has nothing to give. The only thing she has is her actual beauty, that's all she has to hang on to. And she knows that she's got to find someone before her beauty fades, because she might think she'll be alone forever. It's still the same with Manuela, but at least she actually had some more options on the table. She just chooses to actually go for that sort of like over. I don't know, like the big mum sort of like. I mean, technically, I think it's like the mum of the entirety of like Three Houses, like more than like if like Manuela's actually like the mum, then they've got like the sense of like the daughter of the actual family.
Yeah.
Of looking out for everyone else. But that's the thing though, Manuela is incredibly when it comes down to it, she's an incredibly skilled physicist. If a doctor, if it wasn't for her skill, a lot of people would have died. So it's the one good thing she's really good at is that she does care for everyone. If she had that side, the more compassionate side, out more than like the actual like over provocative side, showing she could probably find someone.
Yeah, if she would basically dump indeed a provocative side.
And embrace the more like natural, like doctor sort of serious sort of attitude, she probably would find someone quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she would be bad as a partner. She wouldn't be a good partner for me for what I want in a relationship. But I don't think she would be too bad of a partner as long as you can give her that sense of you don't need to prove yourself, basically. Because that's the thing. She always thinks she needs to prove herself. She needs to show
her beauty and how beautiful she is and how good she is.
And if she would get rid of that, that would help a lot. But she can only do that in a relationship with a partner that gives her the confidence and the eternal love that she honestly deserves.
Yeah, I mean she does deserve it. I'm not talking shit about Manuela, but it's just that she overbears on her sex appeal too much.
Yeah.
Like if she actually was more serious, like she is when she's actually doing like the medical work on the students and the soldiers. Like if she was like that more sort of not serious all the time, but had like that sort of like more like down to earth, like that sort of down to earth mentality. I think she wouldn't have an issue finding someone, but she relies too much on her sex appeal and beauty to actually get her through trying to find someone. Instead of letting her natural abilities find someone.
She appears to be really two-dimensional, but she really isn't.
When you stretch her down to her core, she actually is a good person at heart and very mature.
Yeah.
She just a little bit too forward with her actual trying to find love.
Yeah. She's too desperate.
Yeah, that's what actually hurts her. She actually tries too hard to actually try and get... She acted more down to earth and just acted more like the doctor, more than like the songstress or the diva. She probably would find someone. She was like a mature diva, like as well, just tone down, like just like wear something less provocative and be less forward. Like she would probably find someone like a man would probably come up to her after the actual show. Like that was an amazing show. Would you mind going out on a date sometime? I said, like, I would love to. And that's it. That's all she really need to do, apart from just like try to like push herself on people constantly.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, so where are you going to be putting her, Paddy? I know I'm going to be putting her already, but where are you going to be putting her?
I mean, I've put her on the B tier.
Oh.
Just because they're with the right partner, she would be great.
Yes, okay.
She just needs to find the right partner.
Yeah. See, for me, I'm putting her at the very top of C, almost at the bottom of B. Because that's the sort of thing, it's not my sort of style, it's sort of like over-sexified. I like a little bit of sex appeal, but that's too much for my personal liking. It's like, it's too, like, too forward and too, like, in your face. It's got to be done right as well for me to actually enjoy it a little bit, but it's just like, all for show, no, like, thing for people later on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, Flane.
So what was your thing?
Oh, for me it was C.
Noted.
Alright, Flane. Now, where do we begin with Innocent Flane?
I mean, she's a really...
adorable?
She's adorable, but she's also strong, independent.
Yeah.
She's really well-rounded as a person.
The only thing is that her naivete is her biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Because of the way that she's basically been living and the way that Setov treats her, she's been living a very sheltered, naive life. So she sees the best in everyone and almost nothing bad in people. And she actually sees the bad for herself.
Yeah, that she needs someone who is grounded in the real world and realistic to...
I mean, like Caspar, for example, I think would be one of the best actual partners. I don't think Caspar and Flane can even be together, but I think Caspar would be a really good fit for Flane overall, if I'm being honest.
Work, yeah.
Because Caspar's really grounded. He's not naive himself, but he's very like the energy would bounce off each other. Like, Flame's always energetic and also like yes, I would love to do that. And Caspar's always like, yeah, let's do it. So I can see then that those two bounce off really well together. But that's one of Flame's biggest weaknesses. Obviously, I can't go into too much story about having to spoil it and stuff and everything else. Because I don't know how much you know of the story, Paddy, but I can't go into much detail about Flame. So what I can really do is her quirks and her personality and looks. But Flame is an absolute. She's gorgeous, actually. Overall, her looks. She's actually probably up in S rank for good looks alone for me. Personality, like I do like her. She's just only feels she's a bit too naive. That's why she said you need someone to try and balance that out for her. But personally, myself, for me, Flame's up there, like highly for me. But yeah, because Flame is like she's caring. She'll do anything that like I said. She'll do anything to help anyone. She'll do anything she can. The only thing she can't do really is cook. Because she loves fishing, but she can't cook. So she can do a lot of other things. But apart from that, though, she's a master at white magic. Probably one of the best probably one of the best faith casters in the entire series, or at least in the actual Three Houses series, Three Houses game. Anyway, she's like top tier like faith user. Apart from me and Mercedes, but even if I think Flame's more powerful than her in terms of like that, for example. But yeah, looks is amazing for me. The personality is apart from her bit too much naivete, but that's because of her situation and because of Setef as well, being overprotective. She doesn't really see like the worst in people, the bad in people at all until she sees it for herself.
Yeah.
Like literally, like anyone could probably walk up to her and say, "Hey, excuse me, I need a hand. Would you mind accompanying me for a minute?" "Oh, certainly." And that's probably when she can get in trouble from that, because if anyone could walk up to her, she probably would believe that they need help. But yeah, overall for me, I mean, I can't much go about more different to Flame overall without going into too much spoiler territory. So yeah, for me, so I don't know actually. I don't know if I want to place her like in the middle A or in the lower A. I mean, Flame actually would, but Flame is naive, but she will love you. Like if you are committed to her, she'll be committed to you. Like there's no one else I can think of that would be. Actually, everyone, but most of these guys would be committed to you after everything you've been through together. But I can't imagine like anyone like the bond being strong between either you and Flame, for example. Like Flame is just like that caring and kind and just an innocent soul through and through, that she would literally stand by your side for the rest of eternity, pretty much. If she had to, she would stand by your side forever.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel I'm going to place her between Leonie and Shamir, I think, for myself. I mean, I do love Flame, but I prefer the other girls more than Flame, but for me it's a middle ground of A rank.
Yeah, agreed.
What about for you though, Paddy? Where are you placing
Same. I also had her own A.
Ah, actually we are thinking quite a lot like that overall, aren't we? Alright, we're Flame out the way. We're coming down now to the final 1, 2, 3, 4, we're down to the final 8.
Anna.
Alright, Anna, yes. Unfortunately, I don't know much about the rest of the series, so all I can really go off is just the Fire Emblem Three Houses info and what she can do and everything else.
Yeah, she's just shopkeeper, always happy, independent.
The only thing I
money.
the only thing I can say about her is that she is quite kind of greedy. She'll do anything for a profit. I mean, at some point she'll say, okay, it's not worth it to risk the lives of myself or the rest of everyone else, and she needs to. She will just cut the actual mission, whatever it is that she's trying to do for the sake of herself and her friends. But yeah, she will go for money whenever she has the opportunity to.
Yeah, but she's not willing to go over bodies.
Yeah. Which
actually already makes her better than.
Also, I would go into that more. Oh, sorry, Paddy. I would go into that more, but that's something you need a DLC for. If you want me to explain like one of the missions you can do with Anna with the DLC.
Nah, it's good.
All right. Well,
at one point, I'll get the DLC.
All right. So I won't go into that, but yeah. So that's what you basically say is true though. She won't go over corpses to get treasure. If she can do it legally and do it in a safe way that no one gets hurt, she'll go for it. Like, oh, there's a whole ruin full of treasure. That's waiting to be planted. Let's go get it, Professor. And it's like, alright, fair enough. But the moment Ash is any like, oh, but we have a risk of actually dying, of people have a risk dying going in there. Is it really worth the risk of losing someone's life? Like, if she knows that she can get it safely, she will. But if she if she knows guarantee it's safe, she'll go for it. But it's like any chance of people getting hurt or dying on for her, she's like, it's not worth it. She'll find something else to try and make some actual safe money with.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from that, though, we don't know much more about her personality apart from just making money.
I mean, she's happy, she's smart, she's always upbeat.
I mean, I think she would actually, if she could be someone that she could generally love her. I think she would also love you back in return, but not much to say like maybe either Flane or like Hilda or Dorothea would.
I think out of all of the girls in the game, she would be the most basic housewife. No, not the housewife. She will be the most realistic, real life.
She would do all the shopping to get the best deals, to save on money.
Yeah, exactly.
All the best like quality of food, like buying too much and not buying not enough, and balance out the books and stuff, and balance out all the checkbooks and accounts.
With the merchant job and
the merchandise.
Her, you make food for her, and then.
Well, she does all the major selling of stuff for you and yourself. Yeah, good point. I was actually going to put a lower actually, but I think overall I would be happy with Anna. But I think I'm going to put her, just behind Annette, I think, in a medium B tier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, unfortunately, there isn't much to her apart from just making money and just enjoying this time of making more money or just like spending money in a fun way. Apart from that, it's not like no real other hobbies from what I can really see or if I can tell from her really. But she might enjoy like some like board games and stuff like that, or she tactical stuff and thinking and everything else. But compared to like Hilda or Ingrid, which would love you anyway, just for like she like just being with her or being with them and just like doing things together. Anna's more of like just more basically in it for making money and basically building her actual merchandise and everything else for her shop and everything else in her reach. But no, I would happily go out more with Anna than I would go with Elgard, for example, definitely. I can see her being... that's gonna actually...
Someone doesn't agree in chat with you.
Hey Zed, I'm disappointed that Sylvia's B. That's the thing though, Zed. She's almost A. She's almost A. So unfortunately, I would actually put her higher, but unfortunately I can't go too much detail without Paddy.
Yeah,
that's spoiling anything, but
she's
almost
A.
A
for me.
She's an A for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, how you doing, Zed? But yeah, Lascivious almost A. She's only one thing that really puts her down to a B tier for me personally was just because not her like I understand the reason why she was doing it, but there's one small thing that really like I can't really describe for some reason. It just niggling in the back of my head. But she's almost A. Like, just on the cusp of basically being on A, but on the very highest would be...
No.
But yeah, also in case you were wondering, that the people on the left are on the higher version of S, so of having Latifia at the very edge of B, it's almost basically on the bottom of A. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Welcome. Let's for 14. No worries, no worries. But yeah, put about another... Sorry?
It's about time for me to mute myself again, because spoiler.
Oh yeah, because you haven't seen... Yeah,
don't even know who that is. Byleth and Sotis, which are also probably spoiler ridden.
Well, when we get to those, we're going to be doing it basically just judging on personality and I mean, I'm not going into story much anyway with rest of these much anyway. But if you need to, Paddy, you can mute yourself for now.
I mean, I know nothing about Constance except for that she has a dark and a light side, and her light side is annoying as fuck. And her dark side is apparently also annoying as fuck.
Alright, fair enough, dude. But yeah, I'll let you know when Zed can say that. I'll message you, or Zed will message you saying that you're ready. Alright, so I'll try and get through it somewhat quick so I don't keep you on mute for too long. But...
Oh, no, it's fine. Take your time.
Alright, so Constance von Nouvelle. So as Patty was saying, that Constance has a light side and a dark side. So after like her history of her house falling into ruin during the uprising of the 6th, or whether it was uprising of the 7th, I can't remember exactly what it is. Constance's family was blamed for helping the site that lost, and then they were annexed and also basically just like forced out of their home and their land, and Constance was forced to flee. Basically forcing her to basically go to Garreg Mach and hide underneath there pretty much for a good number of years to hone on her magic and stuff, to try and find a way to rebuild her home. But yeah, Constance has two sides to her. The when she's in the sunlight or in like in the direct light, where she becomes incredibly like moody and like not really submissive, but like she'll basically like say, "Oh, I'm so if my existence or my presence if any way offends you, I'd be willing to take away. I'd be willing to take my own life as repayment for this unbearable sin." And like other things as well, like she will. If anyone tells her to do anything, she almost will do it, almost. Or she has like a very credible negative view of herself, or anything else negative view. But that actually, she still keeps like her dignity to anyone else. Like, oh, if any sin of mine is too much for me or for you to bear of my ignorance, I will happily leave and be out of your sight. And then you got like the incredibly like not egotistical, but then you got like the light side, like ha ha ha! I am Constance von Nouvelle. My genius knows no bounds. I shall restore my house to its former glory. And everything else, and that everything else, like she like has full-on confidence beyond anything else anyone else has ever seen. Like she is not arrogant, but she's like very bold and very like she knows what she wants and she'll go for it no matter what the cost. And she won't use people, but she'll go to any safe means to actually to get done. And she'll try to get any sort of like material that she needs for her experiments and stuff. But yeah, overall, I can see why Constance is the way she is, especially being forced at a younger age. Basically, had lost her entire family, lost her home, lost her birthright, lost everything that she actually was owed as part of an actual noble, and basically having to basically force herself to actually, work herself back up basically from zero. I haven't seen the actual Constance ending myself yet. I was working on that on my last playthrough, so I actually stopped for that for a little while I was doing some other things, so I go back to that in the future. But yeah, she pretty much has to force herself back up to the higher ranks, and from what I've seen so far, she can be incredibly, like, she can let her guard down, same as with Shamir. Like, when she actually has someone that she cares about and actually, like, is falling in love with, she can be incredibly, like, kind, considerate. And actually, she does drop the sort of, like, the obnoxious personality for a more down-to-earth kindred spirit, so that's something I really adore about Constance. But also she's dropped their gorgeous as well, so it's kind of hard for me not to. But yeah, if I'm going into any more overall, if I want to go for her backstory and her plans for the future to restore her house, and everything else, I'm going to be putting Constance for myself. I think I'm going to be putting Constance at, I want to say top of A tier, or I want to say either S tier for me personally, or high A. Am I going to put it between Petra or top of A rank? I don't want to put too many in the S rank either, because that's kind of like removes the point. But this is my actual list anyway, and what I feel like each girl is anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to put Constance at the not bottom of S, but at the top of it, almost at the bottom of S. But yeah, for me personally, I love Constance overall. The only thing I technically could bump a few points down for the actual, but it's not by choice. Actually, it's by I can't really punish Constance for conditions out of her control. Like the torture she went through, and all that the despair and the torture she went through after losing everything. I can't really put that on her for that split personality. So for me, it's going to be a high, it's an S rank, but low S overall for me. But yeah, Happy. Yes. But yeah, I absolutely adore Happy. Even with everything that she's been through, especially as well. Like, I absolutely adore Happy. Like, when I actually first saw her in the actual DLC, I was like, out of both Constance and actual Happy, it was Happy way above Constance initially, until I actually got more to learn about Constance. But yeah, I love Happy's attitude. Some people like really dislike it because she's always like not like snarky, like always trying to like do dishback like fight backs and stuff and everything else. But yeah, she's always been the sort of person to like do a quick reprisal on someone if someone like tries to take the piss, or like tries to like take the mick and stuff. But yeah, usually if someone actually badmouths her, she'll usually just like grim and bear it and just like move on. Like she's always been like the outcast, especially from like her past. She was outcast from her village and her home, like never to actually be able to return. She was forced away from everything she ever knew, and she was forced to even go to the. She was. I think she was either found or captured, taken back to the monastery, and then forced down into Abyss. Basically, it's like, oh, you can just go down to Abyss, and whatever you do down there is not even our concern. Yeah, I love Happy. Is because she's been through so much shit in her life, from her friends, from her family, from her home, everyone that she's actually tried to like get some sort of help from. Like, even like one person's like trying to like raise out their hand to help for support. But no, I love Happy because no matter, she's been through so much shit from everyone. No one's been willing to get up for her hand because of her actual, I guess, ability. I can't actually remember how she even got it in the first place, but whenever she sighs, she basically like summons forth demonic beasts. So she cannot sigh for whatever reason. And yeah, so she refrains from, she can't even do it at all. Like, whenever she's angry, she can't actually like let out a all she can do is just like grin and bear it and just like swallow her pride. Just all she can do is just like breathe through her nose and just like move on and stuff, and has to like channel all that negativity, like the abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, for what, 15, 20, so however many years it's been, like 10, 15 years. And then when the professor comes along, especially the male Byleth comes along, and basically it's the first person to really offer out her hand, especially all her little quirks as well, like the way she treats people when she talks to them, like calls them little nicknames, and the way she eats food, like, and she talks with food in her mouth and stuff as well, like when she's got like a bun in her mouth, she'll try and talk normally anyway. And the way she talks, and like especially near the end of the actual game as well, when like Happy finally actually, like, she really wants, she can tell like how much support like Blythe has given Happy, and she wants to show it, but she's not really sure how she can really show it, because like, oh, why would anyone want to be with me? I'm a monster. I'm a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. No one will want to be close to me or get to know me. But Byleth does. Byleth actually ignores all of Happy's warnings and basically ignores everything that Happy tries to say to get Byleth away from him. And eventually, Happy actually admits that she wants to be around Byleth, even though she's kind of embarrassed about it. But it's like, I don't care what people think about me. But yeah, so I get where you're coming from there, dude. But yeah, but eventually at the end as well, when like Byleth gives Happy the ring to prevent Happy from not being able to sight anymore, like it prevents the actual demonic beast from appearing, and like she can go, and like, I've wanted to do that for so long, so very long, and then says to Byleth that she loves him. That really got me in the throat as well. That really got me in the heart when she actually was able to sigh and like says that I love you. So yeah, for me overall, everything that all the shit she's been through, and like having no one to actually help her apart from Byleth pretty much, and a handful of others, that's to some degree, but no one near as much as Byleth. If it wasn't for Byleth, actually, she'd probably be like alone forever somewhere, trapped in some dingy cell. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna be putting. So that's the thing. I don't know if I want to place her higher than. Because for me, Mary Ann and Happy are like very close number 3. Like, I've been like back and forth with Mary Ann 3 and number 4 for a very long time. Like number 1, 2, Dorothea and Bernie, or Bernie Dorothea. But for me, I think personally for myself, I have to put, like personally, I think I have to really put Happy at number 3. I absolutely said, yeah, I would actually love to know actually how, I think she might have said before, but I can't remember how she got it in the first place. But yeah, that'd be amazing though, said, if you can do it for me at some point, that'd be amazing. But yeah, for me, I think it's going to be Happy for me at number 3, because I adore Happy. I mean, to be honest, if it was sort of like her in real life, I would be happy with that personally. I'd be very happy with someone like her in my life as my partner, for example. Like, no joke. But yeah, so that's the end of the Ash and Wolf Girls. But yeah, number 3 and number 5, both of them in the S tier for me. It may seem kind of like a bad thing having so many girls in S tier, but it's my list. And that's how I feel about all of them, so if anyone has an issue with it, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome back. But But yeah, because I don't know how Zed feels about my opinions on both Happy and Constance, but that's how I feel about them both. So.
Oh, good.
All right, we're down to the
Yeah,
final.
opinion.
Oh, we're down to the final 5 now, Paddy.
Ah,
All right, Kronya. Where do we begin with Kronya?
I barely know anything about her.
Yeah. Also, I mean, no one does apart from a few small things. Obviously, I can't.
I've seen her. I fought her once during the start. That's it.
But yeah, so Kronya, I can't really go much into her backstory because personally for herself there is no much of a backstory for Kronya. It's just like, oh, here I am, and it's like, okay, where'd you come from? And it's like, blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, so that's fine. Yeah, so obviously, unless people really like the dark edge, like pale skin, vampire-esque skin color of someone, and you don't mind like I don't know, being a knife being in your ribs constantly 24/7 and like being poked and prodded, it's like I mean, the only thing about Kronya, she does have one redeeming quality about Kronya, like apart from Cornelia. I mean, I would rather date or be in a relationship with Kronya more than that's saying something.
Oof.
and that's saying something. But Kronya only has one sort of redeeming quality, that she actually has been dealt a really shit hand herself. Like she didn't choose to give people a shit hand. She was dealt a shit hand, in the grand scheme of things. So, but yeah, I can't go much anyway because not much to really go on in the future. There isn't much to really go on from the past. It's just only one small detail you get and one small thing before that without spoiling anything. But yeah, so for me personally, I feel like I'm gonna have her an E tier overall because obviously she's incredibly dangerous and incredibly like you know, she's still like pretty bad to the bone overall, but she's not as bad as Cornelia. At least she actually is bad by circumstance, not bad by purpose.
Yeah, makes sense.
So for me, I'm gonna put her an E rank. I mean, I would rather date Catherine more than Kronya, but I would rather sooner actually date Kronya and go out with Kronya than Cornelia, like hands down, like not even a second thought about it, like definitely.
They know it's bad.
But yeah, so that's. I mean, technically, people might have my reasoning strange, but if people have played the game, people have seen what these two can do. But yeah, that's the reason why. I'm basically only the reason because
Kronya is a holdie, S tier, easy.
Really? Oh yeah. Also, I can't even ask you your ranks for Happy or Constance, can I? Because unless she's judging on pure aesthetics.
I know nothing about them.
So that's going to be a little bit hard then to have average out over. Mind you, it's not going to make a big difference. I don't think.
I've taken away Happy and
okay
for our averages.
Okay.
I mean, Cornelia is the only one I did count, but that is because you've got a definite one on Cornelia, and I mean, I don't need to know about Cornelia to know that your ones are.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do not know about that said, but yeah, even knowing that, I would still rather go out with Kronya than actually Cornelia. Not by a huge margin, but if I had the choice between either being probably poked in the ribs, or actually, you know, probably being like, what gods know, whatever, like Cornelia would do, I would still rather pick Kronya than Cornelia. Not really saying much, but there you go, that's my reasoning. Like it or hate it, there you go. Okay, Patty's favourite, Rhea.
Ooh, this is gonna be a big difference.
Yeah, this is. See, we both have quite big opinions on Rhea. I do understand where you come from as well on this one, but overall, with everything all said and done, I think it's going to be quite a big opinion difference here. But anyway, I'll let you have the full first one, Patty. So.
Okay. My main problem with Lady Rhea is the way that she. I mean, that's also. She's too much of a. Wow, how do you say that without being a total.
Oh, by the way, we're not going into too much story spoilers. It's primarily based on a little bit of backstory to actually help with my actual definition. But the 3 criteria are looks, personality, and quirks, with a little bit of backstory to my reasoning for the actual personality and quirks. We're not really going to not going to heavily on purpose story spoilers, but with lack of information on people, I've got to go more into backstory.
Don't like about her that she is so incredibly aloof that
Mm-hmm.
she expects everybody to listen.
But yeah, I'll carry on where Patty's going for now. But yeah, I'm guessing Patty doesn't like Rhea because she's very aloof, as he said, and
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Lady
Rhea.
Ray. Yeah. Um. I mean, I don't like how aloof she is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how she expects to be have her orders followed. I don't like how she demands things from people. And what I've been gathering from the story, both in Three Hopes and in Three Houses, she's not exactly good for the world.
Mm.
She comes over as being rather selfish rather than doing her best. I mean, she's done a lot of good things, but has she done that out of her own will, or has she done that out of um,
Agenda.
yeah, agenda and pragmatism and that kind of stuff? You know, that is my main thing. I cannot quite figure that out, but from the first moment I was already like, nope, 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 nope. And also, Gerald doesn't like her, and Gerald is the kind of stand-up guy that if he doesn't like someone, you know something's wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more like he's afraid of Lady Rhea more than like he hates her.
I mean, that works as well.
Because he knows what she can do.
There needs to be a reason for him to be afraid of her, so
Yeah, I can see
she's
that
doing
being a
something
thing.
wrong.
But yeah, so I see where you're coming from there, but obviously we're taking in the whole package, aren't we? Not just like certain aspects, aren't we?
I mean, that is all that I know about her, really. That she's possibly evil, that she's
Well,
not good for the world, that Gerald really doesn't like her, etc.
I
I
mean,
can't
yeah.
really name a lot of good things about her, if I'm honest.
Well, I've seen all the actual supports with Rhea and stuff and everything else.
Yeah.
And like, obviously I can't really justify everything that she's done as well, to some degree. But if you literally wish to focus on the woman herself, not like everything that she's after, just the pure woman that Rhea actually is. Like when she gets down to it, when she's calm and she's actually like in a good mood, and everything else. If she was like with peace with what's going on in the world, like it's a completely
The
different
fact that you
story.
need to specify that already says that she's
Yeah,
probably not a good person.
yeah. But when all things are said and done, when she hasn't got like the weight of the world on her shoulders and trying to like control the chaos that's actually going around for as best as possible with the knights and trying to do the best for, even with keeping up appearances, still takes a lot of pressure on someone. But when Reyes actually relaxes, especially at one point in the story, like when she actually has like a different like portrait and stuff and slightly different model, like she's drop dead gorgeous, dude. Like holy shit.
Mm.
Like she is incredibly gorgeous, even on that front alone. But actually, when she's actually calm and relaxed, and hasn't got anything to actually worry about at that current moment, like her like beauty and elegance actually truly comes out. Like she's incredibly like serene and like gorgeous and beautiful. When she really has like nothing to worry about or not worrying about the fate of what she's doing. But I know it doesn't justify everything that she does everything else.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to justify some good thing about her, apart from just saying slander.
It sounds like she's the type of person that you would be in an abusive relationship with.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from
She is
for that.
beautiful, she can be nice, but most of the time she's just a giant bitch.
But usually it's all the stress she's under. It's what makes her angry and makes her somewhat like with the way she is. But she actually had nothing to worry about. She probably would be a lot more tolerable. I'm not saying good. I'm saying more tolerable.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's not an excuse being in a lot of stress to be a bitch.
Yeah, but I'm trying to take like the church leader who has that's everything for her agenda and her own things that she's trying to do, and like the lady behind it all, like the actual like person behind it, and like this everything else. I'm trying to like make it somewhat fair, apart from just like, because I do agree with most of your points as well, that it's not an actual excuse for actually everything she does, but I'm trying to give her some sort of like positive light to actually justify the actual balance here. I mean, on pure for me. I mean, I've already got my actual particular place where I'm putting Rhea. You might agree with me overall, but I'm gonna
Probably don't.
I'm gonna be placing Rhea at the top of C tier.
Oh no, she's a big E for me.
That's fair. That's fair. But for me, Rhea is. I would rather go out with Rhea than go out with Edelgard. And that's saying something.
I think I'd rather go out with Kronya than Rhea, because at least you know what to expect from Kronya. You don't know what to expect from Lady Rhea, because she always has a different agenda. She probably isn't even going out with you because of you. She's going out with you to further her own agenda, and I really, really dislike that kind of people.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But I got my own view on her, and that's fine. It's only a matter of opinion. It's we both got our own opinions.
Oh, not above Manuela. Come on, man.
No, I'm above Manuela. Fine, I'll move below Manuela.
At least Manuela is open and clear about what she wants from you, even though it's just that.
I love how like the actual look at this actually is now as well. You have like the leader of the church and the leader of the empire both like neck and neck with each other.
Yeah, but then again, Edelgard has the same thing. She's also so calculating, so
benefiting her own cause and her own desire and
so
dreams.
Egotistical and stuff like that,
and that's the reason why I would rather go out with Rhea than actually Edelgard, because they're both the same, but at least you can see a side to Rhea that actually I prefer more than Edelgard.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, people might not agree with that, but there you go. Okay, the final three. And we have Citri.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, so I can't even talk about Citri. Yeah, pretty much. Otherwise, it's just basing it on the portrait. That's not going to be doing much for most people.
I mean, it's a cutie.
It's not going to be a long discussion, but it's going to be a very important one.
I'll be back in a second.
All right. Yeah. So Citri, Byleth's mum. Yes, obviously we almost know nothing about Byleth's mum apart from just a very small snippet of like 2 or 3 still images, like the backstory of who Citri actually was or is. But yeah, Citri overall was basically a nun at Garrickmark Monastery. Basically, from what I can tell, nothing special overall in the grand scheme of things. Just basically a normal nun who was basically living there and worshipping Saint Seros. And one day he met Geralt as he was passing through on one of his actual tours, I guess from a mission or whatever he was doing. And Geralt and Citri started talking. They actually, because Citri loves, she's incredibly smart, devoted. She's kind to a fault. Actually, kind to a fault. Incredibly smart. Her intrigue of most things is fantastic. She always has a smile on her face, incredibly bubbly, all that stuff. She's basically like the ideal person of someone who's just like full of energy and kindness and just light, basically, in someone's being as a whole. And that actual all that together really piqued Geralt's curiosity. And basically, she said that she loves flowers. So whenever Geralt would go out on a mission, he would come back and would give her a new flower, and her face would like beam like nothing, like the most adorable, innocent smile you probably could ever hope to actually look for. So overall, just someone you could really like just sit back and just like enjoy each other's company with literally unconditional love, more than anything else you probably could ever really hope for, pretty much. But that's pretty much all I can really talk about Citri overall. Is basically what we know. It's just that those are the things. Like just incredibly nice, caring to a fault. Sees the good in everyone, loves a lot of different things, incredibly just all round, just like a shining example of what people hope to be, or people what like to try and be. So yeah, for myself personally, I'm going to be placing Citri in the upper A, but just behind Hilda. Obviously, I can't really gauge more on her. Welcome back. But yeah, I was going to say I can't really rank Citri any higher than that overall. But everything considered together, with everything that I just discussed and everything I said, I can't really put her any higher. But if we had more information, she probably would also be an S tier for me. But overall, just she's incredibly pretty. She's basically good to her faults. Kindness of basically a goddess, and just like sees the best thing. Is incredibly smart and just incredibly skillful at lots of different stuff. But yeah, just a shining example of what most people hope to try and be. Just really well-rounded, lovely person. But yeah, I think most people probably not going to agree with that option there of having her A rank. But just from what we've seen and her personality and like her being, it's justifiable enough for me. All right, Byleth. Oh god, where do we even start with Byleth?
Byleth is difficult because the Three Hopes Byleth is basically blank. Whereas, of course, in Three Houses she is also blank, but at least she doesn't talk, so you don't hear her say stupid shit all of the time.
And also, technically, Byleth is more of a slate for yourself on how you think and how you feel. We can only really judge Byleth on pretty much just the look of Byleth.
She is fucking cute, though.
Yeah, she's hot as fuck, but come on. I mean, the only thing that's really going to be like a massive time for me, it's like the sort of like the gormless stare that she'll give you a lot of the time. I mean, she does get more emotion as time goes on. Yeah, she's hot.
And she doesn't talk. That sounds like waifu material.
Yep,
right there.
yep. Top of S tier. Good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. What more could you want? Big. She doesn't talk. She's hot as fuck. Big boobies. What do you want?
It's really hard to. I mean, you do see a sense of her being really nice to people, trying to help the students, even though she got kind of forced into a shitty situation from Rhea, of course. She's basically a hostage, but she is trying her best for the students.
Yeah.
So you do see a lot of nice parts of her. The default option in every possible conversation is trying to help and trying to be nice.
Yeah.
So that is something positive.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously, I don't know if you're watching chat or not, Paddy, but obviously something that's saying and making a lot of sense, the reason why Byleth is the way Byleth is, and how things change. But yeah, because the main thing in Three Houses is that at the very start, Byleth pretty much is just like a completely blank slate. Has no emotion, like never laughs, never cries, never smiles, never saddens. It's just basically a completely like resting bitch face, constantly 24/7.
Yeah.
Until eventually, like he starts meeting the students, and depending on how you go about it as well. Like canonically, I'm pretty sure. Like, not sure how it really is canonically, but I assume like Byleth attracts everyone to herself or himself, whatever you do, and like they actually recruit everyone, and like they all fight alongside the professor, or with Byleth, and like everyone's emotions, different skill sets, different like emotional states, beliefs, everything else affects Byleth over time, slowly and surely.
Yeah, I mean.
And she eventually she starts to smile, or they start to smile. They actually start to talk more, have more emotion on their face. It's a slow process, but eventually it happens.
There is absolutely no reference, as far as we've played in Golden Deer House, to anything related to the Ashen Demon, or rather, whatever the fuck she does before she joins the
monastery
church anyway. So. I mean, that makes a lot more sense if she is actually the Ashen Demon, as you see in Three Hopes, and that legendary mercenary that straight up just murders bitches. I mean, if that's the personality you have, and then you have, you need to grow a heart through your students, that makes a lot more sense as a character compared to the Three Hopes. Permanent resting bitch face and only has two moods.
Yeah.
Vengeance and cold-hearted bitchiness.
Yes, this one's going to be quite a hard one to rank because it's not like you have all the information. That's basically their canonical personality and their canonical way of thinking. Like Byleth is basically like an open, unless you really like break down like through the cutscenes and stuff, like you use that as a reference. It's not much to really go on overall, but I guess technically, canonically, like obviously, Byleth would care about everyone of all the students. But obviously, depending on who they actually end up being with, it's going to be incredibly up to interpretation as well. But I guess for this, we're going to have to rate it on, I guess, just like the looks of Byleth and just the quirk of Byleth, and then just like the personality as time goes on. So I think for me personally, if I'm being honest myself, I think I would actually have to go with, I think, bottom of A tier. I think for me for Byleth. If I'm going pretty much just on overall like looks and like personality as time goes on,
I'd go.
It's a very hard one for me to rate overall. I was thinking maybe B, but I think B might be a bit too low because then we're getting to the point with like, well, it's pretty much just the same.
It's really nice though, so I
yeah.
guess that...
So what you rating Byleth?
I've put her on a B.
Okay.
Regardless.
But yeah.
Just because the other version of Byleth is so completely blank in Three Hopes.
But yeah, because it would have been nice to actually see more. Obviously, it would have been hard. But it would have been nice to see some extra cutscenes like as time goes on, like by actually like playing with the actual student, like actually like talking properly with the students properly and smiling and actually like maybe even a laugh here once in a while. Cause never actually, all we get to see is like in cutscene or like the normal cutscene. It's just like a very small like raise of the lips, like It would have been nice.
My opinion can still change. That I barely know her at this point. All I know is that one paralogue with Gerald and Leonie, that she honestly is a little bit of a bitch. That's literally all I know, and besides that, she's just blank in Three Hopes.
But yeah, I'm not sure if really said really agrees with my choice here, but it would have been nice to actually see maybe a couple of extra FMV cutscenes where even like during like after the battle of the Eagle and Lion, like after like at a small dinner party, we actually see like first time, but actually like I don't know, like Claude whatever throws some cheese across the actual table towards Dimitri, and Dimitri catching it, or whatever, throwing it to maybe Ash. He stumbles the cheese a little bit, and like he shouldn't do that, Claude. And just seeing them actually interacting and having like him or her having like a like actually close their eyes and have like a little laugh, like, and everyone like stops and turns like, Professor.
Yeah.
That would have given like a lot more context to like Byleth actually growing as a character and just like seeing a slight smile during a normal functioning cutscene. I mean, it wouldn't be a massive thing, but it would have given more impact to like Byleth's growth. Like actually be able to see Byleth actually crack a proper smile or a proper laugh to actually make everyone stop and go, "Oh shit." But no, overall personality-wise and just look-wise, overall, unfortunately, it's really hard to like rank an actual player character or like a slate character like Byleth. But if I'm going for purely on cosmetic looks and just the way that they grow over the actual game, for me it's actually going to be bottom of A tier. People may agree, I wouldn't. Some might not agree. All right, and the final person, Sophis. Well, unfortunately, once again, there's not much I can really go over apart from. So there's a lot of lore we can go over, but.
I don't mind Three Houses of this. What I've seen of Three Hopes of this, I don't like her.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I don't like Three Hopes of this. Absolutely not. She. I mean, it's the same with Edelgard. The context basically just misses, and she just comes over as this power-hungry creature from the sky that wants to take over Byleth to become, well, a murderous god, I guess.
So I haven't seen a letter from Three Hopes. I can't nothing to rip it. So I can base it off as Three Houses.
Yeah, you'll see it when we/you start playing it, but she is rough as fuck. But the Sophis in Three Houses really isn't bad.
No, she's a little bratty and overall a little. But the concept of actually dating a goddess, or I don't know, it's kind of a really weird concept. Like dating a goddess, like how would you even go about that? that's something that we're gonna have to really like look through. Obviously, because of her appearance, the actual her attitudes, and like the general rule of all. It's like, how do you really rate this overall? Like everyone's actually like someone suited in reality. Sophus isn't suited in reality.
No, I would honestly take that as a minus rather than a plus. Dating a goddess.
I mean, like, technically, it's just like you close your eyes and you can see her perfectly in your mind. So that's how you interact with one another. I mean, that wouldn't sound fun to me if I'm being brutally honest.
Going on a date would be, hell.
Yeah, kind of annoyance. So yeah, I don't know.
Every time you wanna ask her if the meal is nice, you need to close your eyes.
Yeah, or just think deep within yourself. Did you enjoy that meal, Sophus? Oh yes, it was tasty. The food that I can't taste. But no, so I think it's going to be cut and dry for me, I think, overall. But I don't know how to really rate Sophus, to be honest, because dating yourself, dating a goddess within your own body. So I don't know how to really rate this one. I mean, on looks, obviously she's quite cute, but that's not really saying much when it's not actually tangible. It's not actually like obtainable. It's just like it's etherical of anything else.
I'd go with a D, or maybe even an E, just because of the impracticalities.
I was going to say my initial thing overall would be the lowest part of D. I think that's the thing. That I think I would rather date Sophus than go out with a person that would slaughter innocent people on an order. So I think
Good
for me,
point. So it's going to be a D.
I think I'm going to place Sophus, I think, in between Catherine and Ladislava.
I'd rather date Catherine, yeah.
She did apparently at one point have a physical body at one point. Well, depending on how hard it would be to recreate that and whatever like voodoo magic chamber ritual summoning you have to try and do for that to give something a physical form again. If technically, okay, if we're basing it on purely on the mind and like having like technically she resides with it in your soul for all eternity, that'd probably be a D. But if she had like a physical form, like a full-on physical form, I probably would have a maybe a high, maybe a low B rank, maybe like below Judith, and maybe behind, maybe the bottom of B. If she had like a physical body, probably then would be, I think, bottom of B rank. But with like, the goddess in your own mind, whatever, probably would be D. Okay, so that's it. We've done it. We've ranked every single waifu. I don't know how people actually agree with my opinions or not, because I've got like what 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 S tiers. I've got 7 A tiers, 6 B tiers. 4 C tiers, 3 D tiers, 1 E tier, 1 F tier. But yeah, so I think overall then, from what I can see, we've got 6 in S, we've got so that's so far, we've got an A plus on average, 6 in B, so that would still make it an A.
Okay, I've got the calculations here.
Alright.
I've turned it all into numbers, obviously, and I've left out Constance, Happy, the Citron.
Citri.
Yeah, basically everybody I didn't want to hear anything about because spoilers. I've left out. My average is 4.76, so that would place my average slightly like a B minus.
Yeah, I was going to say it's on a scale of 4 to on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, now on a scale of 1 to 7.
Oh, okay.
Because you only have 7 classes.
Oh, of course, yeah, never mind.
And yours is a 4.9.
So ooh, I'm slightly higher.
Almost.
Slightly higher.
And I think if you count all of the characters that I didn't count for obvious reasons, then you would be even higher. You would be on a solid B.
Alright. So
So
it's
you
not.
like all of the girls, and I am slightly more judgy about them, apparently.
Well, I'm not a massive fan of Kronya or Ladislava or Cornelia, to be perfectly fair, but I've got to rank them somewhere.
Yeah, I have for your lowest Cornelia, obviously. Then Kronya, and then Sophis. Those are your lowest.
Uh huh.
Because, hey, where's Ladislava? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Ladislava
apparently,
is also free.
apparently Zed's list would be Lysithia top, then Dorothea in second, Constance. Okay. Apparently only Lysithia and Dorothea would be on S tier.
No,
Lysithia top.
Lysithia
Oh,
would
Lysithia
be
top, Dorothea and Constance down. Oh, down a
Lysithia,
tier.
Happy, Marianne, and Petra would be top. And Dorothea would be placed down as well as Constance. Then, oh my god, you've typed that really. Can you not use number set, please?
Number 1, Lysithia. Number 2, Dorothea in
I've
A
made a
tier.
beautiful spreadsheet to make things clear for myself. And now you're like, up, down, up, down. Like,
But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to end the recording. Let's do the actual thing and we can do some more afterwards. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tier list. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, and this is just more for fun. Everything I've laid down it's not definite. It's just my personal opinion and my personal things that I find attractive and everything else. But you might have a completely different list. Let me guys know if you actually do have any differences of where you would place someone in the tier or what rank of the tier you would put them in, like higher B or lower B. But yeah, thank you all for watching, everyone. But yeah, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Paddy.
bye bye.
And we'll see you guys hopefully next time. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.